That was a good time to go live.
Say what you see.
Yeah, say what you see when you see it. Say it. Hello everybody, it's Gary here, MexiGary on Twitch with Mr. Eddie Trainer, the legendary, one and only Eddie Trainer. Thank you very much for joining us, Eddie.
You're welcome, mate.
On my wee
Anytime.
podcast, it's called MexiGary Makes Friends.
No here it is, day.
Well, not any new ones, because we've been friends for, 15 years?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that how long it's
It
been?
make me feel old.
That was back when you were in your...
40s.
Yeah.
50s, actually.
Well, I was actually going to go the other way and say I think I met you the day after you got your bus pass. So
I'll speak to you later about that.
Hey, Pam's here. Marzipan 73 as well is here. Thanks for joining us, guys. We've left the viewer count off, so we don't know how many people are watching. So if you want to let us know that you are watching, then please drop us a wee comment there. But I'm here with Eddie Trainer. Most of you on Twitch will probably know me as MexiGary from doing the streams when we were in lockdown there. It was an arduous time for all involved, but it's a nice community here on Twitch.
Oh,
Yeah. You never thought of doing any streaming yourself?
Who wants to fucking watch me, you know?
Well, I thought that as well. Yeah, it's alright, man. Everybody swears on Twitch. Well, actually, I might have been the first ever to swear on Twitch, and I got banned for a week.
Did you?
I swore about 45 times in 2 minutes. It just so happened that the song was Killing in the name, so I couldn't not. You know, it was
Well,
Is the sound out alright for you guys? Pam and Marzipan? Can you just let us know that it's all cool? Because this is only my second, actually, it's my second live stream podcast, but my fourth overall. So just let us know if it's sounding okay. Right, Eddie is a guitarist, as you can see, a songwriter, musical director, V-amp and digital effects ambassador, founding member of Scottish bands God's Twin, Lion Rampant, and the one that escaped me was...
Heavy Pain. Well,
Heavy Pain.
I wasn't a founder member of that.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, that's why I didn't.
I was in the original lineup.
Right, right.
Briefly.
And also, the longest running. You were the founding member also, I believe, of the longest running live band backed transatlantic improv comedy troupe, Baby Wants Candy, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yeah, I put the lineup together for Baby Wants Candy for the festival shows. That's 13 years ago now.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing that?
Well, obviously due to lockdown, missed 2, but this year was my 11th run, averaging about 26 to 28 shows every year.
Gee, that's every August.
Yeah.
And that's while I was doing the day job as well. That's
except for this year, I decided to tell him to ram it, so
like,
I'd had enough. So yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, well, we and the guys in my band and a couple other folks, D from Splendid Gentlemen and Doug Jagger from Skyline, we all came to see you. Yeah. And it's long overdue to come and see you, to be honest, because we've been promising or threatening to come and see you for a number of years now. But we came and it was, I'm such a big fan of comedy that I came and then I came. It was.
I'm glad to hear that. I hope you had plenty of tissues.
Nothing to do with you. It was
well, I would certainly hope not.
But the show was incredible. Like, it was just to put you guys in light of it, if you don't know, it was a 4-piece band which Eddie put together himself, as you say, 12 years ago?
13
years ago, and it was fronted by a comedy troupe of. Well, was it in the first instance? Was it all Americans?
Yeah. I think I might be mistaken. Excuse me, I might be mistaken, but I think this year was the first year we've had somebody from Britain.
Oh, right, cool.
In there,
oh, great.
Which was pretty cool.
And it was one of the guys from Britain was actually a guy who I recognised from YouTube called. He's a rapper on YouTube. You probably know his real name. I couldn't tell you that, but his name was MC Hammersmith.
There we go. I was just waiting for you coming in that.
Yeah, did you remember it? Yeah. Yeah. I need to get some padding in this room, man. My voice is really echoey in this. But anyway,
especially sounding for ages.
Eddie's also guitar tech for. I was building up to this. The legendary Michael Schenker.
Briefly, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing experience and lovely guys. Everyone in them were all amazing to work with.
Right.
So it was a privilege.
Yeah. Maybe you sending me photos for the gig going, look at the gear, are you jealous? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm jealous of the gear. I'm not jealous of the guy who has to hump it about every night. He's like 2 Marshalls, one for clean, one for distorted.
Yeah, it's quite a setup.
So did he not use? Did he not use any gain pedals at all because he had the 2?
No, not that I was aware of. No.
Right, that's crazy. Who needs a rat pedal? We'll just get another Marshall in. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's I just did the Aura works in his fingers like most players.
Right.
It's just all these, and the guy's playing out his skin now. It's just the best I've ever heard him playing in my life.
Right.
And I've been following the guy since I was about 15, something like that, 14 or 15. Obviously, was lucky enough to see him at the Glasgow Apollo back in the day, which was incredible with UFO, and seen him numerous times with MSG and whatnot. I've never seen him in the Scorpions, sadly, but I think UFO was the best place to see him at that time.
It's Lights Out was one of UFO's tunes, wasn't it? I remember when I first started playing my guitar, and there was this guitar called Total Guitar Magazine, which is probably now a website, probably can't even buy it in Woolworths, which doesn't exist either. Yeah. But I remember I got this and it was like, this week we're going to teach you how to play Sonnet by The Verve, and Writing to Reach You by Travis, and Lights Out by UFO, and I got through the first 2 fine, and I was like, this was right at the beginning of playing guitar, and I like, the guitar's a piece of piss, what's everybody going on about? And then I put on UFO, and I was like, never mind, I'll just go back to skateboarding.
Yeah, I mean, my first encounter with hearing Schenker play was actually in an old style record store, just opposite where the Hard Rock Cafe is now. And you would go in and then go down into the basement and they'd all these booths. But you would actually go through the LPs, go through the LPs and pick one, take it up to the counter and ask the guy to play it. So you go into the booth and listen to it before you actually bought it, which is pretty cool, which is pretty much a norm back then. But and it was the album No Heavy Petting, funnily enough.
Right.
And I just totally blown away. I was like, what the is this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as I'm sure a lot of young guys at my age were at that point, you know, and Schenker was only a young boy at that point as well. He was only about 16 or 17 or something like that when he joined the Scorpions.
Jesus, so what age were you then, did you say?
When I first heard him, probably about 15, I think.
Oh, so you're going to be ages with him then?
Aye.
Oh, right, I didn't know that, right. And so was that like your first, holy shit, this is how a guitar should sound and I want to sound like that kind of guy?
It was very much a revelation for me because I'd been, embarrassed to say, but I used to listen to things like Status Quo and stuff like that, and then progressed on to AC/DC, which I still love, as does everybody, I think. Yeah. And they moved, you know, through to guys like Rory Gallagher, and these were all people that I was seeing, you know, on a regular basis coming into the Apollo. So to see these guys live was just sort of mind blowing at that age, you know what I mean? It was just like, what the fucking hell's going on, you know what I mean? This is insane.
It's amazing. Like, when did the Apollo shut down? Because I often feel there's a lot of guys going to be saying, I saw these guys at the Apollo, and I'm like, where's the Apollo? Even when I moved to Glasgow, it was a cinema that was just shutting down. Is that right?
No, it was used right up until, I think it was 80, I might be wrong this, I think it was about 86 or something like that.
Oh, right.
Maybe a wee bit earlier. It actually closed.
Am I thinking it's the one on Hope Street that turned into a cinema? Whereabouts was the Apollo?
No, it's not in Hope Street, it's in Renfield Street.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
And it eventually turned into a cinema, but they totally bulldozed the whole site and then rebuilt it. Yeah. So where Walkabout is where you would actually go in to get, you know, your tickets and stuff and actually get into the front of the gig.
All right. So it was what Walkabout is now.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
So basically, but it was that whole block.
Ah.
There's a nightclub upstairs and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Which I used to frequent back in the day. I used to go dancing.
You used to go what? Let's see that again.
That's a one time offer.
I think we'll clip that. Can somebody clip that and Put some disco music behind it.
I need to go and have a rest. My back's giving me.
Brilliant. Alright, well, sorry, let's have a look at the comments here. It's Mary Ann.
Hello.
Do you know Mary Ann?
That's my cousin.
Oh, it's your cousin. Hello, Eddie's cousin, Mary Ann. How you doing? Oh, none of my regulars are on tonight. That's showing me up. On my own podcast, you've got more pals than I have.
Just neither of them like me, that's all it is.
Right, okay, so I was going to ask you about a couple of things we've been doing recently. Was just like, you always hear like what's your top 3, what's your top 5, what's your top 10, but I'm going to go with top 4 because it's just slightly different. So I've got a few different categories here. What's your top 4 musical influences? And they don't have to be all guitar players. They could be songwriters. Because I know you've always been the songwriters in your originals bands.
Yeah. Obviously Schenker was a huge influence on me. Rory Gallagher as well, back for that era as well. Just so many great players. Chris Cornell, just for being the musician he is, just incredible.
I didn't realise that he actually started out as a drummer. Yeah, that would explain a lot of the Soundgarden's. Like you get a free calculator with every album just to work out what time signature they're in. Spoon Man was one of the first songs I heard, and it was by Soundgarden. It was probably one of the first that was in a weird time signature, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, what's it? I think that's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like, nah. I'll go back to listen to Wonderwall.
I think another one for the sort of more modern era, obviously Jerry Cantrell as well.
Right.
Alice in Chains. I mean,
there we go.
Hence why I've got this. But no, I mean, incredible musicians, one and all.
And which one do you think influenced your songwriting the most?
It's difficult to say because my early songwriting was probably shaped a lot by stuff like Rory Gallagher through to, I'm just trying to think now, at that period. Bands like FM and stuff like that, sort of, I'm leaning a wee bit on the American side of things, it was a bit more melodic, it wasn't so much, real down and dirty stuff, it was just, good hooks,
right.
and that's vital in songwriting as far as I'm concerned. You've got to get the hooks in as quickly as possible, to get people in there, even if you're just doing like, a sort of introduction of the chorus, say doing a half section of that or something just with the hook line in it,
right?
Just at the start to bring it in, and it gets people caught in there right away and they'll stay and they'll pay attention. So
yeah, I mean it's you got that Guns N' Roses Sweet Child of Mine, they were like, that's like a classic example of like hitting with the goods straight away. But as far as like starting with the chorus, that goes all the way back to the Beatles, doesn't it?
Aye, totally.
Can buy me love, if she loves you, it's been a hard day.
Well, I mean, the songs are all about the hook. It really is.
Yeah, we've had many conversations about the Beatles.
I don't like the Beatles.
Yeah, it's one of those weirdos.
But it's not. Let me just actually make that a bit clearer. It's not that I don't like the Beatles. I mean, I appreciate the body of work they've done is just vast, and the quality of the work by and large is absolutely amazing. But it's just the hype it's all around about it. It just sickens me and pits them off them.
Right.
Pit me off them. It's like some people just think everything they touched was incredible, and it's not. They're just like any other band. It's some of the stuff they done was shit. Some of it wasn't. You're
right, but I like how when a lot of people, because I do love the Beatles myself, but they'll go, really mate, Yellow Submarine? And like, for fuck's sake, man, everybody's got a shit song in their artillery.
Totally.
I mean,
I've wrote a lot of them.
Well, I reckon, you've probably got a lot more good ones than I have, but I've got a song called Bread Demon, and I think in years to come, if I ever did.
I love that song. I think you should be sponsored by Hovis.
It's the only decent one I've got. Sponsored by Hovis.
Better sell a wheelbarrow and a wee flat cap. You're off. Yeah, never had Angus, any.
We used to play Bread Demon at gigs, and it was we used to ask the audience to come up with styles of music for us to play the chorus in at the end of the gig, and it was somebody would always go thrash metal, which is they think would be difficult, but it's the easiest one they ever came up with. It's like just like Bradley, man.
Yeah, you could play the whole song in 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Done.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, bah! And it's done. Yeah, it's like that. It reminds me of that.
People are not sure whether you've actually sung a song or just done a shit on the stage. You know what I mean?
Well, in the case of Bread Demon, it's the same thing. But, that reminds me of a Peter Griffin joke from Family Guy. It was like, I do have hidden talents, Lois. Really, name one. I can name all 52 states in a quarter of a second. Go on then.
That's not a bad Chinese accent, by the way. That's what you heard.
You'd think with the amount of time I spend listening to Bill Burr, you would think that I would be actually better at a Boston accent, but no. Anyway, something that we normally do at the top of the show, if it is a show, which it definitely is not, is have a shot of Jaeger.
Oh,
and
I'm sure we can manage that.
Yeah.
No, I've not done this before.
Yeah.
Still doesn't taste good warm.
I know. And another thing we do is, even though you kind of ordered the next one, I'm going to pretend you didn't.
All right.
I ordered some beer mats, excuse me, with amplifiers on them. I wonder if I can get back to camera one for this. Here we go. So we've got Marshall, we've got Vox, we've got High Watt, and Orange. And I think I can already tell which ones, because you got to have two. We got to have two each, one for the shop, one for the beer. So
I'll take the High Watt and the Marshall then.
You're going to take the High Watt and the Marshall. That makes sense. There you go, sir. I'm stuck with it. Well, actually, I'm happy with the box.
Yeah.
The Orange. I might just save that one till Doug Jagger comes on Tuesday. So.
I'm not an Orange fan, to be honest.
Yeah, not me neither. I much prefer apples.
I think the this is for obviously guitarists. Nobody else will really get what I'm talking about, but it's just really there's no definition in the sound at all. It's just very woolly. I find it anyway.
They're not good at cleans. And I did a demonstration video of an Orange. Was it OR15? Was it OR15?
Yep.
Or maybe an OC15.
No, it's an OR. You can drop that to 7 watts as well, can't you?
I don't think the one I had could do that, or maybe I didn't even work out that you could do that. And I did a demo of that, and people were like saying, "Oh, the cleans are shite," and then the comments were, "Well, Orange isn't meant to make good cleans." And then I tried the drive channel later on in the video, and the comments were like, "Oh, the drive channel sounds shite," and everybody's like,
yeah.
"Oh, it wasn't meant to sound good with the drive as a drive channel." I'm like, "Well, what the fuck is it supposed to be for then?"
It's just a horrible Orange box. That's all it is.
That's a horrible Orange box. We're not talking about Trump today, though, are we?
You see plenty of them in Sucky Hall Street.
Oh, I got Shazam 403. I wonder if we can guess who that is.
I think we all know who that is.
I think we all know who that is. Where's the Patron? I'm pretty sure it's still at your house.
Oh, damn it, I forgot to bring it.
Yeah, you forgot to bring it. I didn't want to mention it, but, you know.
Damn it.
That's alright, and I've got plenty of... Well...
Have you?
No, I'm not Patron, but... I was going to say I've got plenty of Jaeger, but...
I'll tell you where has it. Ivory Blacks. I was in there last night.
Where?
Ivory Blacks has got a bottle.
Ivory Blacks has got the old school Patron. Mm-hmm. None of this Cascabel nonsense.
Yep, I've got a bottle. Can I say to you, is that genuine? Or have you just refilled it? But it is Patron.
Well, we're not going to get any of our favourite venues in hot water here, are we?
No.
Yeah. I mean, Ivory Blacks was a venue we went to last week to watch Lawrence Jones.
Yep. A great guitar player.
He's phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I just love him because he's like a English John Mayer, but you know, I think a few years behind him.
But a bit more humble.
Yeah, and he's not. He's not quite as. He's not had sex with quite as many American film stars as John Mayer has.
How do you know that though?
Well, that's
you
a
might
good
be
point.
good at keeping a secret.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say too much about this because his fiancée was at the gig and she sold me a T-shirt for a couple of quid off. So. Because she recognised this from the time, only from the time that we supported them at Sleazy's. We're not.
I should recognise you with your clothes on.
Oh!
Sorry, lads.
And it works both ways.
That was a joke.
So if you just joined us, guys, it's Gary, and this is Eddie Trainer here. So it's weird to have a podcast with them and actually talk to people who are clearly more well known than I am. So it's like I feel like I'm introducing. When this goes on YouTube, this is just, we're recording it right now, and we thought, well, we might as well stream it at the same time. So we're going live on Twitch. So thanks very much for joining us. But when it goes on YouTube, it'll be a slightly amended, concise version.
You're going to take out all my sweary words. I can swear as much as I like. You know,
Oh,
is that what you're telling me?
yeah, you can do as much as you want in here, man.
Fucking brilliant.
That's what we call it, Twitch, bitch. Anyway, the reason we are gathered here today is because I am absolutely... Well, I'm not going to go into all that, by the way.
Do not.
But,
do not. Do not go there.
Is because I am... one of the things that I love about going to Eddie's is his absolute Aladdin's cave of guitar. Like, the guitar collection that Eddie has is absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just, this year's Gibson, this year's Fender, this year's whatever. You really have an eye for, like, just when you find something on Reverb or on Facebook Marketplace, which is... It's rare to find anything decent on there because clever people don't sell anything on there because nobody sells anything on there because the buyers are all scammers.
Yeah, no, I've had a desk on there for nearly 6 months. Somebody buy it, please.
Yeah, that's a real reason for this podcast. I was trying to sell Eddie's desk. Oh, Pamela Ann knows what's up.
It's my sister. How you doing?
Actually, I should really share this chat to Facebook to let everybody know that we're live.
Big good idea.
So that my pals can watch. But, it's Sunday.
All three of them?
No, one of them's here. So.
No, all three of them.
Oh, shit. Ow, by the way. Okay, so we're going to... right in the feels.
Oh.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through what we have of... Oh, shit. Sorry. I accidentally clicked on it and started watching this video on my phone. Eddie's brought, let's just say, a few guitars with him today.
Just a few. No, I couldn't fit them on the motor.
Just a few. Put it this way, it took us 20 minutes to bring them all up the stairs. So
he's exaggerating.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
No, it's only... I mean, it would have taken you 5 minutes, but I'm weak, So I need to go and pump some more iron or just lift more gear. Maybe I should be a roadie.
Pump something.
Yeah. Has the white lady made the cut? Well, I guess you'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Who knows?
Even I don't know yet. They're all in cases, which, by the way, we're all locked.
No, yeah.
I've got a lot. If I'm taking... How many guitars did you actually bring?
6, I think.
No, there's more than that.
No, I'm sure it was 6.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, you're right. 6. If I'm bringing 6 guitars over to Gary's house. So.
Yeah, I think it's one of your strong point, wasn't it?
Well, Gary lives near... Well, he lives in the East End. He's like, I better lock the cases.
At a secret location.
Yeah. He lives east of somewhere, but west of another where. How can you not get them all there? Are you going to play, cuz? Yes! Eddie's about to play some of his Jerry Cantrell guitar for us, isn't you?
If you wish.
Okay. Yeah. Give me 2 secs, guys, because I'm going to... When this goes up on YouTube, we're also going to see some footage of what Eddie uses as a effects pedal, which is a Helix. Beautiful. Well, yeah. Well, you probably need a few more licks if we're going to get through 6 guitars.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just going to be playing the same thing 6 times there.
story of my life. Story of my life, bro. Listen, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to acquaint yourself with this guitar, as it were?
Well, obviously, as I said earlier, I am a fan of Jerry Cantrell,
And for those of us who don't know who that might be,
he's in Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains, yeah.
Fantastic band, and if you've not heard them, get it fucking sorted.
That is a very interesting nut. It's a very interesting nut there.
Yeah.
It seems quite high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's the action is just so smooth. It's just
Is this because he
beautiful.
used a lot of drop tunings, didn't he? A lot of
Yeah.
kind of drop C's and because they were
I
right
mean,
there at the beginning of grunge, weren't they?
Well, basically everything that they do is at least a semitone down and a drop D.
Right.
That's a standard. But I do believe they use other tunings as well. But I've not actually been in great depth into exactly what he's doing. I just enjoy listening to the music. It just actually gets you right there.
Right.
I mean, it's just there's something organic about it.
Didn't you go to King Tut's recently and see?
Yeah, I went to see William Duval, and sorry, William, but you were shit.
Oh, yeah, man. This is a safe space
Yeah,
to
I
vent
know.
your opinions however
It
you deem fit.
I love him with Alice in Chains, but the solo stuff just didn't.
Or was it his original
Aye,
stuff
he was
since
doing
then that he was?
yeah.
Ah, see,
He was
so-
doing his own stuff, and it really just didn't get me at all.
none of the hits.
Nothing.
I'm assuming. I mean, I love Alice in Chains as well, but I'd never. Well, not to the point where I actually knew Jerry Cantrell's name before, you know. But you know, it's weird that because.
Well, we all come at it from a different angle, you know what I mean, at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, I know all the names of the members of the bands that I love,
Aye.
you know. But you know, Alice in Chains were one of those. I kind of missed the grunge movement by like a couple of years because I think I was probably about 9 when it was happening. You know, I was 83. I'm not going to talk about the age difference here because I should really know all the stuff.
No, not at all.
then, but, you know.
I mean, at the end of the day, I really didn't get into Alice in Chains until, I can tell you exactly when it was 2004.
All right,
No, 2001, actually.
but they weren't still going at that point, though, were they?
No, they were long gone. But it's just I started playing in a band called God's Twin at that point, and it was the band was a huge mix of Motley Crue, which was also a huge band for me, and Alice in Chains. What's Alice in Chains? What do you say? Motley Crue and Alice in Chains.
Right.
It was that whole vibe, and we kind of lived the lifestyle, shall we say, at that point. So I'm quite fortunate I'm here.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the rest of the guys in the band made it through either, but it was interesting times.
Oh, that's a time I would love to live through. When it was accepted to just, that's how rock bands acted.
I don't know. I mean, it was weird. It was weird. Basically, we'd met. It was myself and a bass player called T-Bone, who now, I believe, plays in a wedding band called Sneaky Treacle. I think that's what it's called. Or maybe not.
Sneaky Treacle, yeah, I know those guys.
And Thomas Moonham, incredible bass player.
Right.
And I was just standing at the bar and Thomas started talking to me and talking about tattoos and shit. And he came with this one line, which actually still to this day makes me fucking crease myself. It's you want to see the drummer we've got is the best you will ever see. And I just spat my beer everywhere. It was just like, for fuck's sake, come on, you know, really. So he said, "Oh, are you going to we're in Solid Rock in the town, amazing bar. Been drinking there since before it was the Solid Rock, when it used to be called Blackjack's, but and obviously Bob is now the manager there.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to go. So if anybody's never been there, get your finger out your ass and get in there. It's fucking fantastic, right? So
Yeah. Solid Rock in Glasgow. It's on Hope Street, right opposite.
very bottom of Hope Street, yeah.
Yeah, it's right opposite. It's round the corner from the St John Moore Wetherspoons.
Yeah. So basically, if you come downstairs on the elevator from Central Station or the... What the fuck's that called? Moving stairway thing.
You stung me, the flat elevator.
Escalator. There you go.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about the things you get at airports. Or...
No. I'm talking about the escalator.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm 61. Give me a break. So anyway, go down the escalator and turn right, and you just come right out, and it's just across the road for you.
Yeah. It's an easy one to miss though, because if you're not looking for a rock bar, rock bars are always black. Like they're just black by nature. It's like, look at Rufus T.
Yeah.
Look, Rufus T up the road, which is that?
It's the same.
It's
the
a
same
sister
owners.
bar, isn't it?
It's the same owners. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's easy to miss, you know, because they've got a black window.
I don't know. I mean,
no, I just mean for us, because it's got blacked out windows.
Well, no, it doesn't actually, because the windows are actually painted by a good friend of mine who plays
Dougie.
in Ernest.
Yeah.
Dougie.
Phenomenal
and
drummer.
what an eye.
And artist.
Incredible drummer, and what an artist, man.
Yeah.
And you know, you're not going to miss those windows.
Yeah.
You just won't.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. I just think the casual drinker, as it were, they tend to like frequent Weatherspoons and things like that, and they just,
Yeah, because they're just looking for a cheap beer.
Yeah, but I think some people look into places like that and go, "Oh, that looks a bit scary." You know, when I used to, no, I mean it, like, you know, I used to work for Domino's Pizza. I used to deliver pizzas, and somebody told me, "Oh, you're getting delivery down to Scotia," and it was the staff wanted the pizza from, and I delivered it, and I was like, "Oh, this." Somebody told me this was a right chop shop, and to be fair, it was like a Saturday night. It was folk fold about the place alone, and I was like,
That's just Glasgow, mate.
yeah, and you know, but I'd only just moved here. I was only 3 weeks in to living here, and you have to deliver a pizza to one of the oldest, most legendary boozers, and it was a bit weird. And I was only like 23 or 24 at the time. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And they're all like flicking my cap and that, and like, oh, we got pizza, you know.
Yeah, it's a steep learning curve.
Oh, they were like, one old guy was like, oh, I didn't hear you knocking. Like, oh, chapping, that was what it was. Chapping with dominoes.
Right.
And that's part of the game, is, you know, chapping. And I was like, oh, you just smacked my cap, and I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Turns out it was just a wee joke about the actual game dominoes. But
I don't think I could actually do that joke.
and it was tough, man. But the thing is, when I started playing there, I realised these guys are all just big softies.
Aye.
You know.
Well, they're all just good guys, you know what I mean, by and large.
And now it got to the point where, especially after hanging out with you for so long, that, you know, you take me to rock gigs at well, not so much these days. I don't feel intimidated, but when I first got here, it was like, you know, you take me to bars like Rockers. Well, I was playing at Rockers when we met. I was still like, holy shit, this is.
Yeah, I mean,
we're trying to play Busted at Oasis, and you're like, no,
Rockers,
these guys want to hear
now,
AC/DC.
Rockers is now called Audio, is that right?
No, this is before it was Audio.
No, I'm saying it's now called.
Oh, it's now called
is that
Audio.
right?
Yeah.
Aye. I don't know who owns that now. I mean, that used to be H that owned that, wasn't it? Yeah, but it's not really changed any.
Is it not?
Not really, no.
I think
No. It still stinks.
that's part of its charm, though.
Yeah, if you like.
I mean, if you want to have a club
I thought
in
you
the
were saying what I was gonna
underbelly of the train system in Glasgow in the Arches, I mean,
don't think it's anything to do with the train.
but that's a fair point, because the Arches is actually in the Arches as well, and it's still one of Scotland's most popular clubs. Well, actually, it's not anymore, because it's shut down as well.
It's
Isn't
shut
it?
down, aye.
What the hell's going on?
Too many drug deaths, mate.
Cliffy71's on board. How you doing? Cliffy was one of our regulars when we were doing the streams before. He's clearly a Glasgow resident or regular, because he says, oh yeah, the Solid is across from Reardon Snooker Hall.
Correct.
That's exactly what it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good man, he's obviously been there then.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Right, I think you were going to tell us something else about the Jerry Cantrell, and then we're going to switch to another.
What else do you want to know about this?
Well, I want to know if the pickup in the bridge is actually stock. Is that why he?
No, it's not.
Is that custom?
It's stock for this guitar.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is that the off the shelf version?
But it's custom wire wound for for his spec.
I see.
And it's different from the actual Gibson version because this is obviously an Epiphone.
Yeah.
But it's fucking amazing.
But this is what his one looks like, though. He's got the different coloured pickups. And,
totally.
Well, obviously, not different colour, but the bridge is on.
Yeah,
is
on the Gibson one, which I was going to buy, but I bought something else, which you'll see later. It has piezo in it as well, and you can blend the piezo in and out, which is just incredible. So at some point I will buy one if it comes up for sale, but it's going to be pretty pricey. I mean, it was sitting at about $7,000 when I seen it, so it's going to be a bit dearer, but that's okay. Once I build the money up again.
Jesus hell,
but it's something I do want to buy. But I would still not get rid of this because this is a beautiful guitar. It's very, very nice.
It certainly is. I remember when you posted the picture. I think were you not angling for me to buy it at one point?
I did actually send. I think I sent you it and said, "Look," and
it's definitely my colour, and because you know how much I love wine red, and I actually sold that Les Paul that was wine red.
Yeah.
With the gold hardware and that, but I mean it's a beautiful guitar.
It really is. I mean, and as many people who are guitarists will know that the difference between a Gibson and an Epiphone now is
it's very, very minimal, isn't it?
It's really
it's the difference between this and this.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I was very much in the old camp, as in when I see me playing an Epi, but I now own 3 of them. And every single one of them are absolutely stellar bits of kit.
But this goes back to me saying that you've got the eye for quality when it comes to you've got an eye for good bargain. You know what I mean? I've bought really bad Epiphones. I've bought some good Gibson. Well, I haven't ever really bought good. I've bought really good Fenders and realised that they weren't as good as the cheap ones that I had.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always about price. It's just
it was a status thing for me. I was just like, well, okay,
I know,
I want to get the new American, and then I realised, wait a minute, I'm just going to go back to the one that I beat up myself for years.
I mean, it's like, the very first guitar I bought for myself was 1979 Gibson Silverburst Flying V, of which there was only 50 of them made, I believe.
Right.
Beautiful guitar. I wish I still had it.
But that was the first one you bought for yourself?
That was the first one I bought for myself.
Right, and
the one I had before that, well, actually 2 before that, was the very first one I got was it was some catalogue guitar my mum and dad had got me, and I started playing that and then put it under the bed after about a month and left it there for 2 years. Idiot. And then picked it back out again. And it was a great guitar to learn on. At the end of the day, it was just a tool to use. It's certainly not something I would have kept, but yeah, what I mean. It'd be nice still to have that, but it would have been an ornament in the wall, basically.
Aye.
Unlike these, all these things that I've got now are all guitars that I do play. Do you know what I mean? And I rotate them. Reasonably regularly.
What, you auditioning for Cheap Trick? You're rotating them.
That's ZZ Top, you're thinking about.
Well, ZZ Top, yeah.
Right.
Whoops.
Cheap. Sorry, you're over age.
Yeah. Right, guys, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to be deep diving into Eddie's other 5 guitars in the collection he's brought me. So stick around. I'm just going to put some tunes on in the meantime.
You do.
Guy Orchestra. We've got to talk to Guy. Guy's from Texas.
How you doing, buddy?
Good to have you on board. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. And he's is everything all right in Texas? Because in the time that we've known each other, Guy Orchestra's gone through electricity blackouts, fucking tornadoes, floods, all crazy shit over the last couple of years. Are you doing all right, Guy? You always ask for Stephen Avon, being from Texas,
I'm sorry, I don't play any of that. That's his department.
I'm the whitest black guy pretending to be... No, wait. That was Stevie. Never mind.
Aye.
Still surviving guy, yeah. I used to have a catchphrase about that. Stevie Avon was like the whitest black guy. Pretending to be... He was the whitest... blues guy pretending to be a black guy, and
have a drink while you're trying to
and I'm even whiter than that. Okay, Jesus,
Right,
we'll
anyway,
cut that bit out. Jesus,
What's that?
need to get back in the podcast host mode here. So,
Short mode.
yeah, we've got Mr. Eddie Trainer here, all the way from the south side of Glasgow, and we have a couple of shots of Jaeger right in front of us, and we normally do a couple of shots of Jaeger right at the Cliff. You knows what I'm talking about. We usually have a couple of shots at the beginning of the podcast, but we're going to do another one now because part 2. So, because, and plus this next half is going to be all you talking about your guitars.
Oh, for
So I don't have to talk anymore about
out the
playing
bottom,
blues.
baby.
Yeah.
Still no cold enough. Did you put it in the freezer?
Yes, I did, but when we had the last one, I took it out.
Ah.
It's been up here that whole time.
Oh, you're tadger.
Sorry, bro.
That's alright, never mind. Having said that, I forgot to bring the Patron, so fair dues.
I would call it even then.
Aye.
Oh, we've got some comments coming in. How you doing?
There we go.
Isocia just raided the channel with 8 viewers. That means Eddie's new to Twitch, so that means that Isocia was doing her own stream earlier on, probably doing music herself because she's a great musician, and she's brought the people who are watching her over to our channel. So thank you very much, Isocia, whose name I still, after 2 years on Twitch, I still can't pronounce correctly. So thanks for bringing your crew over. We've got Not So Lone Wolf, who's not a stranger on this channel either. It says, Isocia and the Bobbin crew are raiding you. Get ready, here comes the Needle Army. Oh, that's the raid call. So that's what happens. They finish the stream over there. They raid us, and then they post the raid call, which is what everybody who's come over.
Sweet.
It's like a copy and paste kind of,
Excellent.
just to let them know, just to let us know that her crew are here. So thanks for popping over, guys. There's no, it's not a huge. Well, I was going to say there's no music. There's a lot of music today, but it's all coming from this very sexy gentleman over here.
Gary, I'm not buying you any more drink.
I don't think either of us need it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so this is Eddie Trainer here. If you just join us, guys, I'll just do the intro that I did earlier on for Eddie, if you don't mind, sir.
I'll just sit here and be embarrassed again.
Eddie Trainer is one of my oldest friends since I moved to Glasgow. He's a guitarist, songwriter, musical director, V-Amp and digital effects ambassador. Also the founding member of Scottish bands God's Twin, Lion Rampant.
Aye, that'll do.
What was the other one? I always forget the other one.
I can't remember.
Oh, come on.
Too many.
And the longest running live band back transatlantic improv comedy troupe Baby Wants Candy at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for, you said, 13 years?
Yeah, it's actually been going, well, I've been involved with it for 13 years, and I've actually done 11 years of runs, 26, 28 gigs per, month.
This guy is an absolute trooper, man. I mean, I do a lot of gigs with my band, but Eddie does. I mean, up until this year, you were working your day job. Well, I say day job, you're self-employed, so you can take that or leave it, really. But you were doing 28 gigs every August at the Edinburgh Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and doing that as well. So that is a. And then still coming out and getting pissed with us.
Well, aye, of course. You need to. Do you know what I mean? It's a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Makes it bearable.
I know.
I'm kidding. I love the Fringe. Well, I love working with Baby because they are amazing. And everybody that's involved with it is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I loved watching the show, man. It was just incredible. It was amazing to see, and we were still like befuddled or confused by the fact that you said that everything was improvised, even the music.
Yeah.
The comedy was improvised. It was kind of like Whose Lines It Anyway meets, I don't know.
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, pretty much. I suppose, yeah.
Well, no, it's. I mean, obviously, Whose Line Is It Anyway is by necessity, I think, short form improv.
Right.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
And obviously Baby Wants Candy is long form, so basically we just take a random title suggested by the audience.
Yeah.
And it could be anything. I mean, I think the very first show that I done with him was called Revenge of the Heavy Metal Highland Cows. Yeah, I know. You know, and then you step onto things like Mary Poppins has Ebola, and
Well, the one I saw ended up being Doctor Pooh, which I was a bit.
yeah, Doctor Pooh. Yeah,
It was a great show, but I thought as a
shit.
suggestion, I was like, it was shit, literally. No, but it was a great show. It was a great show, but the title was shit.
Well, I mean, that's just how it works, though. I mean, you kind of got to just roll with what actually happens.
Yeah.
And hats off to the guys, man. I mean, every time. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this a long time now, so every time they rise to the challenge and pull it out of the bag.
Yeah.
And basically, I spend half of the time sitting in tears, just laughing at what's going on.
I can't imagine, because you guys know, well, the regulars, if there's anybody here who's regular, knows how much I love comedy and stand-up comedy, and I was there for Eddie, you know, to see what he was doing for the show, but I was like, oh yeah, every 10 minutes I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I should be watching what you were doing, because the comedy was so good. It was like, and not only that, but it was an hour-long show, and it had an actual story arc, but with jokes interspersed, and I'm like, it would, like, a lot of the screenplays that I've like read and tried to write myself, it's impossible to get that within an hour, and yet they guys did it in an hour on the spot. You could see that there was maybe like 6 or 7 guys on the stage at a time.
There's normally 6 actors, actresses, stroke comedians on stage at the same time, as well as a full band. So we're all on stage, and basically it's just a case of, you know, getting that title and you just run with it. You know, you have no idea what's going to come up.
Yeah.
And they just sail right through it. They make our job as musicians just so easy. You know, and it's staggering how talented they are. They're just amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And do you take like really subtle cues from the guys on the stage as to when they're going to burst into song?
Well, no. I mean, as the band section, what happens is Baby brings over an MD, musical director, and basically there's myself, a drummer and a bass player. And for the past wee while, it's been Kenny and Andrew have been the drummer and bass player respectively. But it's just basically the MD basically watches what's happening. It's quite bizarre, because everybody thinks there must be some rehearsal, and there is zero, absolutely none.
Yeah.
You couldn't rehearse, you know, what actually happens.
But I think that's what happens when you get a bunch of great musicians together. Like, you don't really need rehearsal. Like, I've got this catchphrase that I use, like, you know, I hear like wedding bands in rehearsal. And, like, rehearsals are for amateurs.
Well, I mean,
unless you rush.
No disrespect. I mean, and I played in wedding bands for a long time with a very dear and great friend of mine, Alex Muir, incredible musician and absolutely stunning bass player. Taught me pretty much everything I know about stagecraft.
Right.
And a lot about songwriting and musicianship in general. I love a guy like a brother, but you know, it's like, I mean, how much can you rehearse? Why do you need to do that? You know, you sit in the house, you learn the song, you go to the gig, you play it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You're not there to actually, you know, say, oh, that's the best version ever of Mustang Sally I've ever heard. Do you know what I mean? You're not there for that. You know?
Yeah.
You're there to actually entertain the people who are at that you know, function, and to make them have the best time they can possibly have, so that they will have great memories. And that's what being a wedding band is. You know, it's about that. You shouldn't get caught up in the whole, you know, we're going to do this, you know, this way and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, get in there, do the best job you can, make sure everybody enjoys every single second of it.
Exactly. I mean, some people can get a little bit frustrated with the fact that, you know, they're not allowed to express themselves at weddings, like musically, and I'm just like, I think we both agree. Well, do you?
No, on you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think you need to leave your ego at the door.
Oh, totally.
When you're playing somebody's wedding. Like, I love John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, Clapton, Richie Kotzen, but I'm not gonna, and etc. I mean, that's not only the 4 guys I love. It sounded like it was, but you know, the Presidents of USA, Primus. I could go on for days.
Yes.
And the thing is, I'm not gonna like force that upon
No,
like 100 strangers that have never heard of us.
No.
Like, they're not there for us.
I mean,
they're there for themselves and
Yeah.
to enjoy themselves, and we happen to be there, so we better do what's
the band
needed.
has a defined function. Do you know what I mean? It's only part of, you know, the company that's theirs day. It's not a part of it.
Exactly.
And, you know, you need to reach a certain level to actually meet their expectations and, you know, make sure what they've actually experienced previously continues on.
Mm-hmm.
And it stays up there, if not is elevated. Mm-hmm. You know, so that you actually entertain these people and they go away going, wow,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Especially when you have evenings where you just kind of look at the people and you can kind of tell that they might prefer a DJ.
Yeah, I mean,
Not that and that's prejudice. To be fair, I shouldn't be like that.
yeah,
But
I'm not going to discuss what I
I'll-
think about DJs, but
No,
you know, certain types of DJs, I'll say, not all, but
well, I don't have a problem with DJs either. I think some DJs are great, but I'm just like, sometimes you can see the crowd. And even when you start playing, you do the first hour or whatever at a wedding, and they're not dancing. They're like coming up and saying, "Have you got any bits and pieces?"
yeah, but
You know,
I mean,
like,
there's DJs that, you know, basically turn up their laptop and go, there you go, there's my playlist.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, no, you're not actually entertaining anybody. You're just, you know, you're just playing a playlist.
Well,
you know?
I think,
Whereas
you know,
if you get DJs that come in and they actually, no proper DJs, as in, you know, they'll do a bit of mixing, they'll do a bit of scratch, whatever. I don't know enough of the terminology, and I'm sure my young cousin will actually make sure that I know it.
I think the fact that you just said the word scratching with DJs relating to I don't think anybody actually does that anymore.
Are you sure?
I don't think they do.
All right. Well, I don't know.
I think they
don't
can
know.
beat match and blend the tunes and that. I don't think anybody does the.
How's that go?
I think if Gibby was a DJ, he would be doing that.
No, listen, my young cousin is a fantastic DJ, and I've heard some of his stuff, and he does a lot of sort of dub stuff as well, and I don't know enough about terminology. Sorry if I don't actually have it right. But no, I get there's this sort of, for me, there's this defining line between people who just turn up their laptop and put on a playlist, and guys that actually work to make sure they get the crowd bouncing.
Yeah.
And it's a skill, you know what I mean? It really is. You need to select exactly what you're doing, how to balance your night. I mean, that's what I learned from Alex. Was like, balance out, what you're doing, the pace, the dynamics of the song. Look at how the audience is reacting, and take that from there and actually work on it on the hoof, and see how it works, what actually does work and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really fucking hard skill to master.
I mean, we've talked about this a couple of times before, but it makes me laugh when you hear about wedding bands who have a set playlist, and they just go, okay, song 1 all the way through to song whatever it is, 40, and it's like, well, you don't know what the audience is going to be like.
You can't do that, no.
I mean,
and one thing I loved about playing with Alex was that, I mean, we played for so many years together. He basically, I actually got to know what the click tracks were.
The club tracks?
Click tracks.
Oh, click tracks, right.
Right, because we used, obviously, we're just a duo, but we would actually use backing tracks, and Alec would actually record everything manually. He would put pretty much everything in there. Right? And, it's like, I'm like, right, okay, I know what that is. Right away. As soon as I go to the second beat, I'm like, I know what that is. Which always kind of freaked myself out, because I'm like, how the fuck can I know that?
Right.
It's just a click track.
Yeah.
But Alec would just pull stuff out the bag like that, and he'd just turn around, we're doing this, or he wouldn't tell me. and I'm like, all right, we're going to that then.
Right.
You know, and you'd know right away what the song was.
That's crazy. So you can tell by the tempo and the micro differences in the click sound as to what, you know.
It's weird. It's really, I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah.
I think it was just the sheer amount of gigs that we used to do together. And sometimes we'd have, you know, like a pattern of maybe 3 or 4 songs together. You knew what might be coming,
Yeah.
but it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah, man.
Right.
But I hope Gibby and Dean watch this because they're really going to enjoy this and probably have some comments if like.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
If you could give us a clue as to what might be coming, that'd be a great thing.
No,
but we have. Did you ever have like hand gestures and stuff like that as to like shorthand as to what's coming next? No. Yeah.
We didn't write a set list out ever.
So we have just off the top of my head, we've got things like all the small things. You know, we've got, for some reason, when Dean started wanting to do what was it called, Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I'm talking about
that?
It was 2 or 3 years ago, but it was because he loved it. He loved it so much. I think he still loves it.
It's a great song.
And he gets excited about it. So he was always like,
great song.
Yeah, it's a brilliant song. But when he, and I never even thought to start playing it. But Dean was like, I think it was.
Have you actually went in depth with that and actually looked at the structure of the guitar parts in it?
Rick Beato.
They're insane.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Insane, man.
Yeah, but I just played the line of best fit between the two. You know,
Yeah.
I thought there was only one guitar player in Tears for Fears.
There was, but if you listen to the actual
Or
structure
the
of the
recording,
track,
yeah. But that's what we do in like, well, you know, in bands where there's only one guitar player.
Yeah.
You find the line of best fit.
totally. I
Well,
mean,
you
it's like obviously most of the bands I've played in, I've been the sole guitar player. Apart from maybe Heavy Painting, obviously. Lime Rampant also, but it's like I would find myself sometimes, you know, if I'm doing a cover, you know, going okay, right, so, you know, this song's got a lot of keyboards in it, so I would actually try and, you know, rewrite the keyboard part on the guitar to actually jump between guitar parts, you know, passing notes, fills, you know, and extend that out. You know, so you're trying to cover everything. It's quite difficult sometimes.
And it takes a lot of
dancing about.
Dancing about on the pedal board, doesn't it? You know?
Well, not so much with this thing, but that's a lot easier.
Right.
You know,
but when just to clarify, when Eddie said this thing and pointed at the floor there, he's talking about his Helix pedal, and you've got the big Helix, haven't you? This is the big, this top end one.
Well, it's the Helix floor. I mean, basically, you can also have the rack mount version. You can also have the Helix LT, and then there's the.
This podcast is not sponsored by Helix.
It's not, but if you want to give me some free products, I'd happily accept them. But there's also the HXFX. Is that right?
HXFX was the smaller one.
No, there's the HHFX, which I think is, I'm not sure actually, I've not used that, so I don't know. But it's a smaller unit.
Right.
And then there's the Pod Go thing as well, which is like a tiny thing that most people use for a fly rig.
That's basically what the GT1 is, but without the wah. I don't think it's got the wah, the Pod Go, is it?
Yeah, it does actually.
Oh, it does. It
does have a controller pedal.
Right,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, which is great. You know, so if you're going to use that, I mean, it's going back to the Schenker stuff that I just done tech for recently. Steve Mann. Hope the rest of the tour's going great, and you guys are all lined up for it. I don't doubt you'll absolutely smash it. That he was using the small format HX. God, I forgot what it's called. It's just HHFX, I think that's what it is. And it sounded absolutely tremendous.
Right.
Absolutely tremendous. And I hope, Steve, you've actually checked out the stuff about actually using the stuff with snapshots. I've not. Get it done. Make your life a lot easier.
Well, as we were talking earlier, man, let's save the Helix stuff for another entirely
Yeah, I think that's a whole bag of worms that maybe needs to be opened another time.
We'll get the magnifying glass out and focus right in on the Helix, or what you use the Helix for, because you were the guy who got me into digital effects, but I really went baby steps with it, didn't I? Because I went GT1, the Boss GT1, which is like the smallest multi-effects.
It's a fantastic unit. I mean,
it's got the same brain as the bigger ones, apparently. I don't believe that.
But I mean, look, 90% of what people use in pedals, apart from the boutique stuff now, that's for UD, I know, right, don't start me, right.
I'm going to have to tag him in this now.
Yeah, obviously. But, no, I mean, the GT1, it's Boss, you know what I mean? The pedals are outstanding. Everybody in the planet uses Boss. You're right.
You know? Now, do you really think that they've got the same, sorry, I pulled it a bit too close there. Does it sound alright for you guys? Do you really think that they actually, when they say like the Blues Driver is the same chip that's in this?
Yes.
So why would anybody pay 80 or 90 quid for the actual Boss Blues Driver when they could get the GT1 for 180 quid?
I kind of understand it in that, you know, you have traditionalists who
want the stomp box.
Just want a stomp box and a valve amp, or whatever amp they're using, but traditional would be a valve amp, right?
It's the housing a lot with the Boss pedals. It's always just been like a tank.
Aye, I mean,
I've never had a Boss pedal die.
Me neither.
It just,
you know, and the only Boss pedals I ever actually used, because I wasn't a big pedal guy, you know what I mean, was the OD1, and I had the chorus pedal. Oh, Christ, I forgot what it's called. Is it CE? I can't remember.
Probably CE1.
Yeah, probably. You know.
2 dials.
Yeah. You know, I actually had a wind-up hand on the side of it.
You put a hamster in it. It's not working. Feed the hamster.
Feed the hamster.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the comments here, man. This is it's getting a bit livelier here. I think people are starting to come in from the pub because they got work tomorrow.
Excellent. I don't.
Neither do I. A stack of Z amps, wow, says Ezra Music. Thank you very much. It's not really a stack of Z amps, it's really just, I've got the Z Mads 38, that's a Hoffnine replica of Jimmy's Plexi, which is a very sexy sounding amp, if you can get it to the volume that's required. As you can see, the master volume is at nearly 0. And that's why, if you can look round the corner here, man, I've got an attenuator just at the side. You seen that?
All right.
Yeah, I tend to use that when I'm doing recordings with it, so I can actually get a really good sound out of it.
Hoffnine stuff's awesome.
Hoffnine's brilliant with Tom Moraney and Adri.
I don't actually own one, but it's something on my wish list.
Yeah, Hoffnine's it's going to go down in history as like you should have been there at ground level. Because I've even seen these guys on Reverb, and I paid $750 for that head.
That's a steal.
And it's now up for like 1,800.
Absolute steal.
It's probably a bit too much, but 1,400, you know. But yeah, I mean, the guy knows how to, he knows how to build a cab or what's it called, the chassis.
Yeah.
No, the chassis is the electric. So
well, I mean, you're talking about the actual enclosure.
Enclosure, that's what I meant. Yeah. See, this guy knows his shit.
It's because I read a dictionary. Gary didn't.
Let's have a look now. We've got a stack of Z amps. Wow, we've got share with the rest of us. I don't know what that means. Howdy. Genuine fuck faces here. That's Leanne.
Who?
Leanne Benny. She's a regular. And nice to see you, Leanne. I don't know if you're still here. I think this was a while ago because we got quite in depth there about some shit. So
yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's what we're here for, bro. I love the original. Call Me John says, I love the original WLIIA. What was that?
I don't know.
Call Me John if you're still there. What do you mean by WLIIA? Both UK and US. At first I thought you meant something to do with Alan Partridge. Like knowing me, knowing you. Kim Kiwap. Hold on. Although that's a brilliant description. Isologia says, thanks for joining me, Raiders. Gary's podcasts are always unique. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not. It doesn't sound like one though.
So I know I'm a bit different, but never mind. Deal with it.
Okay. Time's getting on, so I'm going to change the lighting a little bit there. Not So Lone Wolf says, I don't think you'd know, but the guy on the right is Dino Plays his brother. That is me! Yes, it's me! Call me John. Have you never been on my stream before, but you've seen Dino Plays his... Oh, that's because you're probably more of a gamer. Is that right? Even if he looks like an owl. See the shit I get even from these guys, man. It's like international verbal abuse. Well, I'm pretty sure they're talking about me, bro. I also got
I know they're talking about you. The planet knows you're talking about you.
As Ozia says, my ears are still... Oh, she says lurk. That's a chat command. My ears are still with you, but my body's busy. That means they're just hanging out, but not watching. Let's see. I just want to catch up with all this. Oh, Leanne's still battling the homeless thing. Sorry to hear that, pal. She's not really homeless, I don't think. I mean...
Don't judge.
No, I'm not judging. I'm just like... What is going on with you, Leanne?
Hope you're alright.
We definitely hope you're alright. But, just wondering... why it's been so long you've been on?
But she's not access to the internet, mate.
Yeah. That's probably a fair point. We've got Not So Lone Wolf says, happy to hear being there myself before. It really sucks. Hey dudes, I've been nearly homeless. I lived in my car for 4 days. I don't know if that counts as homeless, does it?
No, that's just because you lost your keys, you fud.
You don't need your keys to get out though.
You do.
I lived in my car. Oh man. If only I'd known you then. He would, I could have called Eddie and he would have been like, yeah, you can come round to mine, there's a parking space outside.
Yeah. Just round the corner, mate. No, don't park in front of my house.
Don't want people I know reprobates.
Everybody knows I know reprobates. It's all I know.
Right enough. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to why we're here.
Okay.
By the way, Leanne, much love to you and thank you very much for popping in and we hope you're okay. Give us a shout if you need anything, obviously. A lot of these guys were really helpful to me and Dean when we were at our lowest point in the middle of the lockdown, you know, so anything we can do
still here, man, and it's really nice.
Aye, yeah, it's I think we're all giving something back to each other now.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's a nice community here.
I mean, this is the first time I've done any of this kind of shit, you know, but you know, if people are going to stay with you through that, that's really nice.
Yeah, you're totally right, man. I mean, that's one of the reasons I kind of feel guilty, and a lot of the streamers do as well, for like going, okay, we're back to gigging now, bye. So
yeah, but
you just kind of...
You're not the kind of guy that's going to do that.
Of course not.
He's not.
I promise. Leanne says, my landlord put the house up for sale, we had to be out.
Oh, fuck.
But there was nowhere to go. We're now in a very expensive homeless house until they find us somewhere. We're all good though. Oh, Jesus.
Shit, that's bad.
That's horrible. Really sorry to hear that.
Listen, I hope you get that resolved ASAP.
Yeah.
Please look after yourself. Make sure everything's okay.
Yeah. That's pretty deep, man. That's like, Leanne, if there's anything we can do, give us a shout. But
yeah,
let's okay. So what we're going to do now is move to the section of the show which is what we were here for originally, which was to let's have a look at Eddie's guitar collection.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I need to play this again. a minute. I need to remember how to actually set this friggin' thing up. So there you go.
Okay.
This is the ESP Eclipse 2 with Evertune, which is an incredible bit of kit. Basically, you can pick this thing up and throw it about the room, buy the strings, slap it back on, and it will still be in tune. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
You can actually adjust the settings on this at the bottom down here with a special Allen key that will allow the thing to actually, you can set it where it actually does not bend. So even although you bend the strings, the note does not change, which is a perfect situation for a
Jazz players.
well, no, for a session guy, right? So if the guy's in the studio and he wants this to be in tune all the time, he just takes out the case, slaps it on, bang, he's good to go, right? So once you've actually got it in tune, you set it,
Right.
it does not move. 100%. It is an incredible bit of engineering. And apart from that, it's ESP, you know what I mean? If it's good enough for Metallica, who I don't particularly like, it's actually good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the neck is super easy to play.
It sounds it.
So flat. You know what I mean? It's just gorgeous bit of kit.
At first I actually thought you were in drop D there because it was sounded so fat.
No, I mean,
but-
these are not active pickups either.
Right.
You know, they're just, you know, stock. I've not done anything. I mean, basically, pretty much every guitar I've got with me tonight, apart from the telly that's here. I haven't physically done anything myself to it. The Strat that you can see in the background there from Susie Gilchrist, if you're here, is absolutely stunning. I think it's your favourite out of
It's-
my bunch, is it not?
I mean, you've got so many guitars that I love, and I don't know if I could pick my favourite, but your White Lady and this is, well, that Strat.
Yeah.
Not this ESP. You wouldn't see me fucking...
This is not a Gary guitar at all.
Over my dead body would you see me playing. I mean, the only its only redeeming point is that it's black and white.
There's no red in it at all, by the way.
Yeah.
But
But I see red every time I see somebody playing it.
well, including me.
Hey,
No,
each to their own.
No, I mean, I know Doug loves this guitar. Doug Jagger is from
Skyline.
Skyline.
Yeah.
He loves this guitar. I think that's one of his
Yeah.
favourites.
In fact, we were playing a wedding with, for Doug's sister-in-law, was it? Yeah, the other day. And he was there on Friday night, I think it was. And Forbes of Kilkenny and Dundee. And Doug was there and he brought his Marshall amp and his Joe Bonamassa signature. And he jammed on his, and he goes, when he comes up and he sets his stuff up, he goes, well, I said to him, oh, you brought your Joe Bonamassa signature, a guitar that us mere mortals could never afford. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to play some real music with this thing.
Oof!
Ow. Thank you, Doug.
And did he?
Yes, he was brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen anybody shred all the way through 500 miles, Mr. Brightside and Sweet Caroline. So, thank you for that, Doug.
You prick! I nearly fucking spat shit all over my fucking... Anyway.
He was great. And at the end of the gig, he also had the kind notion to say, oh, you know, we don't play Shang-a-Lang and Sweet Caroline and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, when you're good, you don't have to.
Well, you do if you're in the B set of Rollers. And Tom Payton was in there quite a lot.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Sorry, that was a bit of a dodgy comment.
I forgot that the Bay Set Rollers were... Well, their first hit was it Shang-a-Lang? Was that their first hit?
I'm not sure, but I mean, they were actually an awesome band.
They were like 48 years ago that song was out.
I mean, they were just mental.
Yeah.
Great players.
You know a guy called Graham Forbes?
Yes, I do.
The guy who does all the Rolling Stones stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Graham... now, I might be wrong with this. I don't know if Alec is actually online at the moment, but I think Graham used to actually book the band that me and Alec used to play in back in the day, which was Alec's band, called, at that time we were called Smart Alec. I know.
That's brilliant, Smart Alec.
Aye, but we quickly, once the other guys in the band kind of established themselves as a unit, he kind of said, look, I think maybe we need to change the name a bit, so we changed it to the Midnight Movie.
Right.
And there's some photos out there somewhere of me with hair and all that shit, which is pretty mental. But anyway, great band, pop band, sort of doing stuff like the Cars, the Jags, Joe Jackson, just all that kind of vibe. And we were gigging constantly. We would do like, a week or so of a tour up north.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we'd get right around, all the way up to Kyle, Skye, Uist, Thurso, Wick, Embo.
Las Vegas, LA.
No, that Clinton wasn't on the circuit, but that was later. But no, but
no, sorry, I was being a cunt.
It wasn't actually. He is a cunt. We did that sort of circuit. It was quite a large area we covered. Well, certainly for Scotland anyway. And we'd.
I'd be lucky to cover a large area.
You'd want to cover your own arse, but that's a different story. But no, we'd do that and then come back and we'd have pretty much a rest period. Everybody go back and do some work and whatnot, and then be back out again. So we were doing that constantly for quite a few years. And I think Alec at that point realised that the band had grown beyond just maybe him being the guy that defined everything. Although he still did, because the experience Alec had at that point was way beyond anything we had, and he was sort of teaching us a lot about how to actually work an audience, which is a lot of thing. I think that a lot of bands don't actually get now, and I don't know whether that's because of the advent of the internet, etc.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's a major point.
Because a lot of guys will just sit in the house, they'll hone their guitar skills.
Mm-hmm.
By watching somebody else, which was something we could never do when I was learning. We just couldn't do that. You'd sit with, a cassette tape, or you'd sit with, an actual LP and sit and go back and forward and back and forward, back and forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And just hours and hours of just sitting, listening and training your ear.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it's a lot more visceral. You can actually see what somebody's doing. You can see how they're actually doing it. You can see the techniques. They'll explain it to you. It's a lot more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's easier because at the end of the day you've still got to learn it, but it's a lot more accessible. And back in the day we just did not have the access to that. You just had to use your ears and learn that. And the stuff that Alec taught me is irreplaceable. You couldn't get that anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? The guy had such an amount of knowledge, and still does obviously to this day, about how the whole thing works. And I thank him for that, because he's basically taught me so much of what I actually know about music. But anyway, that's for you, Alec. If you're there.
Bit of Eddie's backstory there. That's great to hear, man. Yeah.
It was mental. I
feel like we chipped away at your solid. I was going to say solid gold heart there, but I'm going to use a phrase that Dee sometimes use. My heart of stone. We actually chipped into a little bit of Eddie's solid stone heart there, and we actually got to the soul of the matter there. I think.
Well, I mean, Alec is a huge part of my life. You know what I mean? And always will be. But you know, sadly, he's now stopped playing. But you know, he's still a musician. He will.
Well, you
always
know,
be.
Does anybody ever really stop playing though? Because I remember a few years ago you said you were going to sell all your gear.
Yeah, I'd kind of hit a bit of a low point, you know, and you know, things just weren't going too good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just in my life in general, you know, my mum passing, and then my brother passing about a year later, in unexpected circumstances, and I just lost it, you know. It's just like, I just don't want to do anything, you know what I mean? It wasn't just guitar, and it was like, I didn't want to work, I didn't want to, you know, shit like that affects you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially if you're, you know, a musician. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, I don't know, you guys can tell me, but I think as being a musician or any kind of artist, it kind of hits you a bit harder. Mm-hmm. You know, because
your gates are always open to a certain extent.
Obviously,
to emotions,
aye.
Not necessarily to other people.
Well, I know, but I mean, being a musician or being an artist of any form means that, you know, your emotions need to be open. You need to be absorbing what's going on around about you.
Yeah.
But equally, you need to be able to give that out. You know, so if something actually, you know, flatlines you, it's like, fuck. You know, I mean, Jesus, you know.
Yeah, I think that's. I can kind of relate to it, but I don't think I've ever hit a point in my life where I didn't think that music was the solution. You know what I mean? Even when I've not lost people to the extent that you have, but you know, when things have been bad within the family, or you know, whenever things have been bad for me personally, I actually recluse to music. You know, I go in this is my sanctity, this room. You know, that's why everything, like all the stuff downstairs in my living room is relating to games and movies, and I've got a couple of guitars sitting there just so I can pick them up whenever I want to. But it's not like, you know, up the hallway there I've got Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jeff Beck posters and stuff like that. But then you come into this room,
it gets sexier for the but there you go.
Yeah, you don't want to see what's in the bedroom.
No, I
that's
don't. No.
That's my little chamber. No, my mum might watch this.
Don't want to know about your chamber.
You don't want me to bend over? Alright, we'll cut that bit out. Jesus.
Yeah, please do.
And wow. Okay, so yeah, I just always. That's the cut point there. And I always just kind of come here, but I turn the internet off. You know what I mean? I come here and I leave my phone in the other room, and I just come in here, and it's nice to be. You're not really allowed to not do that anymore, are you? You're not really allowed to not be accessible at all times.
Oh yes, you are. I mean, people need to know that they can't do that. Yeah. You know, just switch it.
No, I know what you mean.
Switch the world off and tell it to go fuck itself.
So what I mean by that is you're not really allowed, and you know, people don't accept, like, oh, you didn't get back to my message for 3 days. It's like, well, I was, you know, I was living the way that you would have before mobile phones and Facebook, you know. I was just having a bit of me time. That's why there's so much, you know what, man, we were here for guitars, but we've actually got a little bit deeper now.
No, but this is important.
Are you enjoying this?
Aye, totally. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just talking, you know, and if people find this boring, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Leanne's still here. How you doing, Leanne? Oh, she said hug Zeddy.
Ah.
No, she understands, man.
Thank you. No, I mean, it's I don't want to bore anybody about it, but at the end of the day, you know, it's really important, because as an artist, it's all about connecting to your emotion, and if you can't do that, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Do you ever find it's harder when things are going well, because you've got nothing to write about, really?
No, not at all. Because I mean,
but I don't. I'm just asking you.
Well, but especially when you get to my age, because you've got such a fucking thunder shit that's happened in the past.
A backlog, right? Yeah.
So
it was something I talked to Alex Waite about a couple of times, and he's like, "I've got writer's block," and I'm like, "What are you talking about, writer's block? Are you telling me that in the 30? This was years ago. So like, are you telling me that in the 30 years you've been alive, you've written about every single thing that's ever happened to you? No. You know." Why don't you talk?
Nobody does that.
Why don't you write a nice wee cheeky song about the girl who dumped you when you were 15? You know, that you didn't write about then because you couldn't play 2 chords. Well, you probably could play 2 chords.
Yeah, but nobody's going to admit to being dumb when they were 15, are they?
You can still only play 2 chords. What? Just kidding, Alex. By the way, I learned how to play G.
Who?
Alex always takes a piss out of me because I always play a G weirdly. Play the weirdest G that you know.
The weirdest G, that?
Yeah, play the weirdest G you know.
What, you want inversions?
Yeah, inversions, obviously.
Oh, right, so...
See, that's the Alex Waite G.
Can I remember this? I can't. Right, so there's a inversion. I can't remember the fucking D inversion, that's terrible.
My favourite one is like C with your pinky at the 10th fret. And I think that's the one that freaked him out so much.
So you're going to play that and then put your pinky up the 10th fret? What size of hand have you got?
Oh no, sorry, not the pinky, the ring finger. So I always play. I once played a C with the finger up there. Like, aye, he knows what I'm talking about. And Alex was like, "Just play a G." And I'm like, "It is a G." And he's like, "It's not a fucking G. That's not how Noel Gallagher does it."
Who?
Never heard of her. Yeah.
Don't know who she is.
Oh, Cliffy says.
That's the only G you should fucking play.
Suffered from mental health issues since my early 20s, and music and art has always been the thing that gets me through. Cliffy, you're welcome back anytime, sir. This is what we're here for.
Totally.
It's not really what we're here for. It turns out that's why.
Well, no, at the end of the day, we're just sitting shooting the shit, you know. But
shooting the shit, exactly. With about 6 guitars lying around the place. You know?
I know, we've only put up 2 of them, but at the end of the day, no, I mean, for me, I lost my dad and my sister within about 6 weeks each other, roughly, way back. But
well, when you say way back, it wasn't that long ago, though.
Well, it was, but it's about 25, 26 years ago.
Oh, so, sorry, yeah.
No, that's all right. It was my mother and my brother that I lost just recently. But back then, obviously there was more surviving members of the family and stuff, and it's not that I wasn't grieving my dad's situation at that point, but I found solace in actually getting out and gigging after the funeral. Myself and Alec went out and done a gig, and it helped me. And then when I was actually doing a gig, when I got the phone call about my sister getting through an operation, and we had to basically finish playing the gig and then just boost right through to see that. And it was kind of weird. So, but it was a different situation. I dealt with it differently then. And as I say, it's not that any loss was any different or any greater or lesser than the other. At that point, it felt more appropriate for me to actually use the music as solace and actually to lose myself in it. This time round was a wee bit more different. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I do not know. And it's taken me a long time to get back to where I am just now. Because as you said earlier, I was just like, I'm done with this, I was ready to sell everything I've got and just drop out, but slowly but surely it's coming back, you know what I mean. So I'm hopefully going to put some sort of band situation back together again, which would be nice. If there's any of you guys out there want it, come and see me.
That'd be amazing, man. That would be amazing. If you guys are looking forward to seeing Eddie on tour, he's going to be at the Apollo on...
If only, aye. If only. I haven't actually played on the Apollo stage, believe it or not.
Have you?
Aye, it was mental. Right. It wasn't actually a gig, it was just, although the band Heavy Petting that I played a short period with, they did actually play the Apollo. I can't remember if it was Ozzy Osbourne or Kiss. I think it was Kiss, I think, I can't remember. Anyway, but we'd actually used to be able to hire certain rooms in the Apollo for rehearsals, and Lion Rampant, we actually booked out one of the rooms, and it was actually a dressing room, which was weird. Do you know what I mean? And then the whole place was empty, so we went down onto the stage, which was the stage was fucking like that. So when you put your actual, because then we were using like 2 412s, 2 Marshall heads each, and stuff like that, and I had to put ashtrays underneath the front wheels to actually make it sit up, otherwise it was just going to fucking roll right off the front
Oh my
stage
God.
and just fuck off. Do you know? So
I'm surprised it didn't tip over anyway.
it was mental. It was mental. Basically just band clamped the whole thing together,
Right.
and and it was just weird being on that stage, man. Just thinking, fucking hell, everybody that's anybody has actually played here.
Well, it's because it was originally built as a theatre, wasn't it? Like for theatre, it wasn't really for bands originally.
It was Green. It used to be called Green's Playhouse.
Yeah.
And they used to put bands on as well, but they would do theatrical shows as well, as far as I'm aware.
Right. And the thing about the angled stage was it was really just so that the entire audience could see, even people in the front row could see everything was going on.
You couldn't see everything that was going on if you were at the front.
Oh, you couldn't?
That's a fallacy. You couldn't, because the stage was maybe about, I'm going to say about 8 to 10 feet high.
Right.
It was fucking high. I mean, one of the first gigs I went to, well, the very first gig I went to there was either AC/DC or Status Quo, I can't remember. But the AC/DC gig, Angus was up on the balconies, you know, playing, just walking right along a balcony.
What year was this? Because I'm just wondering, like, when did they invent wireless packs? I mean, I thought wireless packs were a quite a new invention.
No, I mean, Angus had one right for the start when I first seen him. So
Jesus, that's a good point, because I've never actually seen an AC/DC gig where he wasn't going mental walking about.
Yeah.
And I've got all the old like 70s DVDs and that.
I mean, it's like the If You Want Blood album. I was there for the recording. You know what I mean? So it's just fucking insane. I mean, people just gone mental, and I was in the sort of first couple of rows, and I ran forward towards the stage after he came down off the balcony, came down, and then all of a sudden the audience just surged forward, and I fell, and I was built like half the size you are, right? And I fell on the ground, and I'm thinking, I'm never going to get up out here, I'm going to die, because there was so many people just fell on top of me in a big pile trying to get.
Oh shit!
And the next thing I knew, I just felt the weight getting lighter and lighter, and it was basically just the bouncer just lifting people off like that. Thankfully,
that could have been a Hillsborough thing.
Yeah, but it was mental. It was insane, but amazing. Which is good to be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird to. I mean, I was going to say you don't get that anymore, but you do, because there's still mosh pits and circle pits and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
but
stuff.
I think they're a bit more polite now than what they used to be.
Really?
Well, I mean, all right, people in mosh pits punch fuck at each other, but you know, it's not.
I still wouldn't have wanted to be a Woodstock 99. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I seen that. That was
Netflix series on it.
fucking horrendous.
Did you guys watching Woodstock 99 with Limp Bizkit?
Bad.
Crazy.
So bad.
I think it was already going bad, and then Limp Bizkit went on, and it's like letting the tiger loose. You know.
That guy's a dick, man.
Yeah.
He's such a dick.
I think he came off stage and they were like, "Why did you rile them up? You know, it was already going bad. We need to close
exactly.
And he's like, Limp Bizkit does what Limp Bizkit is.
Yeah, and he walks away and he's like, oh, fucking yes.
He's like, gets away in his private chopper, you know.
Like,
well, people are fucking going on fire.
That guy is a fucking chopper. Really? Anyway, shall I put this beastie away?
Well, yeah, do you want to pick a new one? Pick another one?
Well, they're not new, but I can pick another one out, aye.
Okay, well, what about the strap?
You want the strap? Right, I shall just mute this.
Just if you've just joined us, guys, it's Gary, MexiGary here with Eddie Traynor from various bands in Glasgow, and Baby Wants Candy, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival show that lasted for half of my lifetime. Not really, but almost. And he's here showcasing his epic guitar collection.
Sum it up.
And this one was just the ESP
with Evertune, which is a stunning back kit. Get yourself one if you can.
Beautiful guitar.
And this, I do believe.
Oh, sorry, man. I just noticed that Andy Paws Christie's watching.
Is he? How you doing, buddy?
So the hilarious part of Woodstock was when the Red Hot Chili Peppers did Hendrix's Fire as an encore. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think the hilarious part was when Red Hot Chili Peppers started playing. Because they're shite.
Yeah. Now,
That's my opinion only.
I'm going to go for a break. Do you think you could play and talk to the kids long enough for me to?
Who the hell wants to hear me talking? Nobody. Why don't you just cut for a break and...
Shall we go for a break? You guys don't want to hear Eddie talking, and I think it'd be funny. You can just... I reckon at least Andy would love to hear you noodle for 5 minutes, man.
He's a good enough noodle with his sailor. He doesn't need my shit.
Well, let's hear a wee taste it anyway before we go. Marzipan says no.
No, exactly. Nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, shit. I'm just going to take a picture of I'm going to take a picture of Eddie's pedal right now, and we're going to post it to the chat.
Oh, that's out. That's better. This is Susie Gilchrist's beautiful Strat. It's not actually a Strat, but it's a bit of a Partscaster, isn't it? But beautifully done. So thank you for us, Susie, if you're there.
I think you got this, man. I'll leave you to it for a couple of minutes.
Anyway, enough of my shit. Hope you're all doing okay tonight. And what you all saying to it. I'm going to have some more of this. Yeah, go for it, Andy. We need to get you up here. Get you on one of these. You're awfully quiet, guys. Andy, the model I'm using at the moment is the Cali, Texas, channel 1, and I've actually set it up with snapshots, so I have 4 different settings on that, and basically each of them are Cali, Texas 1 on this. They're actually quite nice. I quite like that. So I'm just kind of at the edge of breakup on that one. As you can hear. And then into a solo sound.
That is some decent middle pickup action we've got going on right there.
You like that?
Oh, was it?
It's in position, what I call position 2.
All right.
I was in position 2.
See, that's.
I don't know. I mean, how do you nominate your strap positions? I would say neck pickup is position 1.
Well, I would say 5.
Right.
That's the thing.
Well, I did the other way around. So
Aye.
I'm kind of back to front anyways.
Yeah. Up the bum, no babies.
Oh, that's a taste better with Coke in it. Actually, it tastes pretty good, but yeah. So that's the strap. Oh,
There we
not
go.
bored anybody.
So did you tell him what it is? You told him it was a. It's kind of is it a parts caster?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think there's any of it, maybe other than the actual body that is actually any part of fender.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, that doesn't matter anymore, does it?
No, I know, but
You
I
know.
mean, it's. I mean, Susie. I know she didn't physically do this herself, but I mean, she's put together an absolutely stunning bit of kit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the relic job on this is fantastic, and the neck. Don't know if you guys can see that. Oops, it is actually pretty stunning.
Is that flamed
Yeah,
maple?
yeah, it's pretty spectacular, and it's an Aztec gold under black, and it's all been aged. So there's all this checking which you won't see, obviously in the camera here, but it's pretty spectacular. Custom pickups, etc.
I have to say, do you know what kind of pickups they are then?
I think they're Lawler's pickups.
Lawlers, yeah. I think I remember that when you first got it, you told me
I
about
think
that.
so. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember who'd done the neck, but it's absolutely a stunning bit of work. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's one of your favourites.
It is one of my favourites, man. I'm not going to be playing anything today, by the way. This is all
Why not?
Eddie. No, because I'm. They've heard me play enough. It's fine. Andy says, sounds great, man. I used the Brit models based on the Marshall JCM 800 in the Pod Go. I need to experiment with the other models. See, that's the thing with them, as we discussed earlier with the Helix, you know.
Yeah.
Although these pedals have got, and the digital thing, they give you so much range and you can experiment with all these amps.
Aye.
You very quickly find one patch or one kind of model and amp that you'd really like.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me, it's not even the one that, because I use a Blues Junior, but nobody ever models a Blues Junior, because a Blues Junior is basically a physical version of a Fender Twin.
Yeah.
That you could. It's for people who can't use a Fender Twin.
Yeah.
You know, and the Hot Rod Deluxe was that.
Loud. I mean, I used to have one, so
Right.
the Fender Twins are just mental.
They're just crazy because you can't, like, unless you're playing a place, like the smallest place you could get away with a twin would be the Battlelands.
Well, no, I would dispute that, but I mean, then I'm from a different era, so
Right.
bear in mind that a lot of the gigs I done back in the day, and a lot of, you know, the other guys, you know, that will see this, were playing in pubs and they were using, you know, stacks.
Right.
You know, so that was the accepted, you know, form factor.
All right. Well. Okay. Well, I guess
And it was fucking loud.
I guess my point of view comes from using the amp to its maximum capabilities, which is like if you can't get an amp to 4 or 5 on the master volume, are you really even using the amp?
Oh no, you're
You
not. And that's correct. I mean, by and large, valve amps are designed to be driven.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
to have those things cooking
Yeah.
to get all the actual tonal value that's in there
Mm.
out. Because if you don't, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I watched this video the other day, and I've tried it before because you know I'm a big fan of Blues Juniors or any small,
Yeah.
any 1x12 Fender combo, and apart from the Hot Rod Deluxes because they're just fucking dog shit in my opinion. The clean channel's too clean, and the dirty channel's too dog shit. But that's why
like a
I went even smaller to, you know, because I used to use a Laney. This is before I had any money, so I like saved up my pocket money or my Domino's pizza money to buy this Laney VC30 it was called.
Yeah.
So it was a copy of what's right behind you, the Vox
yeah,
AC30. In fact, can we get a better shot of that? We go. No, never mind.
My big fat ass is in the way, sorry.
Fuck it. Everybody knows what a Vox AC30 looks like.
Everybody knows what my ass looks like.
And I got this Laney, and it was great, and I thought it was great until I actually
Yeah.
got that.
And once you get it in there, it's like fuck.
Like, that was inherited from my dad.
Yeah.
You know, it's in 1973, and the only things that are not original about it is one of the speakers is an aftermarket, and I think because Flynn did it, he was like, "You're more of a rocker, so I'll put this in for you." And I haven't checked it.
Did he give you the original speaker back?
No, there wasn't. No, that's the thing. There was only one speaker in it. So yeah, I think the other one had blown or it had been ripped or something. So
but he still didn't give you it back though. There was two speakers.
No, but it had been ripped before my dad even gave me it. So
right, okay.
So it was like, oh, okay, only had one speaker and a couple of the tubes had blown. And well, to be fair, like when he gave me it back, it lasted about 20 minutes and it blew out as well. So I had to go straight into PA for the gig, and this was before I knew about digital pedals. So it was like, shit.
I was like, get your fucking ass on that.
Yeah. So I took it back to him. I was like, the valve wasn't seated properly. Hey, I'm not dissing anybody's. Mistakes happen, you know. And to be fair, when I gave him it, he was like, holy shit. He looked at it and was like, this is the amp you want. I was like, yeah, it might be the amp you want when you're not playing weddings, you know. But even my Blues Junior, anyway, I was going back to the point where the reason I went into Blues Juniors, which are 1x12 Fender combos, is that you can drive them to the point of breakup before you even touch the input volume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best thing to do with the Blues Junior, really, which I very rarely do, is to open the master wide open, like they go up to 12. You know, it's really 10, but the numbers go up to 12 on the thing. We're not Spinal Tap, you know.
Who's not? You've never been trapped in a pod?
No. We're not playing Wonderful Tonight coming out of cocoons.
You've never been lost in an underground cavern trying to find your way to the stage?
Well, I have actually done that before, but it wasn't as funny as the Spinal Tap thing. It was actually, I got in trouble for it.
I think the last time I done that, I was actually fucking tears laughing because it was just like, this is fucking Spinal Tap. I mean, the guys just got it bang on the money.
Yeah,
bang on the money, and I'm quite scared about what they're actually going to do with the next instalment they're planning to do, because why would you want to spoil that?
That's my worry, man. That's my worry, because how can you improve on perfection? In fact, I think we could do something pretty cool right now if I can just grab YouTube over here and we can maybe play the clip, because some of the guys watching might not know the clip we're talking about when he comes out of the cocoon. Oh wait, let's do the underground thing. If I can find it on YouTube.
I'm sure he will.
What's it called again?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Lost.
Yeah.
It'll probably Lost Backstage is the first one that comes up.
There you go.
Let's see if I can screen grab this one for you.
Fucking hilarious.
Hopefully we don't get thrown off the stream for a copyright or anything like that.
And while we're doing that, I'll go and change guitar, I guess.
Yep.
Oh shit. So the next one we want is going to be the Richie Kotzen.
Oh shit. Eddie's way to get one of my favourite guitars that he owns. Richie Kotzen. Signature. So this is the scene from Spinal Tap that we're just talking about, where they actually get lost backstage.
Rock and roll! Let's go then. Yeah.
Let's go. They're all amped up.
No, it's not an exit. It's not an exit. We've got one at exit. No, that's true. Oh, this way. I'm sorry. So yeah, oh, this way. Let's go. Wait.
This looks familiar though.
Listen.
It really does.
Shit. No. Let's not lose it though. Let's not lose it. What the fuck is he? You know, he should be here. We gotta get to it some way. We've been on stage, right?
We're in the group, right? We're in the group that's playing tonight.
You go right straight through this door here, down the hall.
Yeah.
Turn right.
Yeah.
And then there's a little jog there, about 30 feet. Jog to the
We don't have
left.
time for that.
Go straight
We'll
ahead.
trust you. We'll
Go
trust you.
straight ahead.
Yeah.
Turn right the next 2 corners. And the first door you sign, authorized personnel only.
Yeah.
Open that door. That's the stage.
You think so?
You authorized. You're musicians, aren't you?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Thank you very much. Rock and roll. Like they're totally ready for it now.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Here we go. Hello, Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland.
I fucking love them.
You must have made a wrong turn.
We gotta go another way. Other way. Other way.
Oh wait, it didn't show the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a shame. Could his Leanne says, could his trousers get any?
Number 45, you were number 40.
Leanne says, could his trousers get any tighter? Actually,
Yes, they could.
that leads me on to some pictures that I've seen of Eddie back in the day.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
We're going to leave that.
No
We're going to leave
spandex.
that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to leave that.
Right, look what we've got here. Let them see the goods, man. Come on. There we go, that'll do.
That away. There you go.
If you guys have heard of Richie Kotzen from Poison, Mr. Big, and Richie and Adrian
Yes.
from Iron Maiden.
Smith and Kotzen.
Smith and Kotzen.
Yeah, Richie is an absolute monster of a guitar player.
I thought Brad Paisley and Stevie Ray Vaughan were the best guitar players I'd ever heard
Yeah.
until I heard Richie Kotzen.
Oh, they're both incredible, but but Kotzen just boots the shit out of the water.
You're right.
He really does, and most of the time he'll just let go in one, and it just gets like fuck.
Do you know what I
You know
saw?
what I mean?
I watched a beautiful video about Derek Trucks last night, and one of the comments was,
Was that with Rick Beato? Have you seen the interview?
it was actually, yeah,
Aye,
that was the one.
What a great video.
Yeah, I'd watched some of that before, but I watched the whole thing last night, and one of the comments was, Derek Trucks just looks like he's always in flow state.
Totally.
He's always in the zone that we're always striving to get to as musicians and guitar players.
Aye.
And I just think that's the same for Kotzen.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I've
that-
never not seen Kotzen on it. You know what I
And
mean?
that's their standby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's fine, mate.
They're
You
just-
don't need to microjudge it.
They're
Talking
just
in the same
always
hole.
ready to go. Why don't you tell the guys how the tones, because this isn't a normal Telecaster setup, is it?
For those of you that don't know anything about Richie Kotzen or his signature guitar, basically what we have here is a volume control, and this switch is actually a switch. It's not a tone control, which would it normally be. It's actually a switch which takes it from either series to parallel or parallel to series. I can't remember which way around it is. But it effectively is a boost, which, so if you're doing a solo or something like that, or you want like some passing notes or something to actually kick out, you just basically push that over to the right, and it just gives you I think it's about 10, 12 dB of a boost, which is pretty phenomenal. When you're right in the middle of it. So
It's almost his version of like the Clapton tone circuit that was around when he switched from like SGs. I don't think that Clapton ever used or really used Les Pauls, but when he went from SGs and 335s to the Strat, he wanted a boost.
He did use a Les Paul.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, that's a different story.
Well, I've never seen him using one, to be honest, man.
Anyway,
That must have been back in the Cream days, was it?
yeah.
Cheers, y'all. This one's for anybody who's drinking tonight.
And empty is not. Come and join us.
On God's Day.
Who's? Don't start that
Never heard of
conversation. No, don't start that conversation.
No, I just meant because it's Sunday.
Oh, right, sorry.
You started it.
I didn't.
You started the
You
conversation.
did, you invaded Poland.
Are you trying to say that Hitler was God?
What? What?
Let's move on. Let's go back to Clapton
Yeah,
and
let's go back to
Richie
guitars.
Kotzen. I thought you said, well, he invaded Poland.
No, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Forget it. Move on. Do something else. No, anyway, this telly, it's got a neck like a baseball bat. It's really, really fat. But I think when I first spoke to Gary about having this, I'd said, look, get 2 minutes and basically you will forget that it's actually as big as it is. And I don't know whether you agreed with me with it on that or not, but I'm pretty sure you did, because you were just ripping it up and doing it.
Well, it's nice of you to say, man. But no, it was. It did take a bit of getting used to. Plus, I think is it a. Sorry, I'm not actually getting sexual here with Eddie. I would never dare. But it's.
I wouldn't if I was you.
I was just testing to see if it was a shallow V-neck kind of thing, but it's actually a normal kind. It's like the baseball bat kind of neck, you know.
It's a full fat neck.
Yeah.
And
which helps with the sustain, you know.
Totally. I mean, but no, this needs any help, because I mean it's a swamp ash body and a maple cap,
right,
or a flame maple cap, and it's I mean it's really heavy. Really
you've got to say, like, between that and the John 5 telly, they're probably the least telly sounding Telecasters that's ever been built.
I don't know. You can get a good twang out of this.
Right.
You really can. Obviously, if you're not employing the boost.
Yeah.
But by and large, it's yeah. I mean, there's a hot rails down on the actual bridge, but it's a standard telly pickup. It's up the top. But I mean, it sounds fucking fantastic. Plays incredible.
And is this is, as we've spoken about before, this is not like undermodded. This is actually the guitar that Richie Kotzen uses. Like, you buy this, you're playing the guitar that he uses.
Yeah, but Kotzen does have two things that you don't get on his signature model.
Which has nothing to do with the tone. It's the tuner knob.
Yes.
And the drop D.
Yes.
Which you actually have now, don't you?
Yeah, I did. I actually installed one of these because, you know, I like actually using some drop D stuff every now and again. And as you can see here, there it is. Easy bit of kit to fit, and absolutely what a fucking game changer that is. I haven't put on the tuner because I don't really need it. I've got the Rode 3, which is incredible. Really fast tuning. You can set it and actually store over 100 different tunings on it for every single guitar you've got. And you know, it'll also do re-strings really quickly.
Right.
You know, so you can put a new string on, bang, and
So
then just take your finger off it, and then it'll tune it up.
It'll know that it's a brand new string, and it'll be like, okay, let's speed up here, and then slow down when it comes to the point.
You basically just take your finger off it when it's getting close, take it off, and then you just press again, and basically it will tune up. So you can actually set the thing to. I've got the thing in one of my other cases, but it's you can actually set it to what's called tune up. So it, rather than, you know, if you set it on rapid setting, it will basically tune it up or down.
Right.
And as we all know as guitarists, then basically, if you tune down to a note, it's likely to slip. So you always want to tune up.
Yeah.
And this thing will do that. It will tune above and then pull it back down and then.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Put it back up again.
Yeah.
To where it is. So it's no going to cause you that problem.
Yeah.
And it's super fast, which is great if you're in a backstage situation. For instance, like when I was out with Schenker and stuff, although I didn't use it. Well, actually, no, I did actually. I used it in, was it Sweden or Wales? I can't remember. I used it for Steve Mann's guitars. All right, Steve, hope you're still here. And he does a section where it's Rock Bottom, the song Rock Bottom, and he basically comes off a guitar and then goes on to keys for Michael's solo. And as soon as you get that guitar, you need to instantly go and fucking tune that. You know what I mean? Because obviously he's been playing the whole set with it. It's going to be moving. As we all know, that your guitar doesn't stay static. So you've got to run fast and get it tuned. And the Rode 3 was like an incredible bit of kit for doing that. It was just so fast, so accurate, and it was bang on. It was bang on. I can't fault it. You know, it's expensive, but it's worth every single penny. I've also got a Peterson strobe tuner which you can clip on, which is again fantastic bit of kit. You know, Peterson stuff is amazing. And other than that, I've got the tuner on the Helix, which is not 100% accurate to where those other two are in relation.
Right.
You know, those two are like...
What, so the clip-on's actually more accurate than the Helix?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's something that Helix needs to work on, you know, but I mean, it is an accurate tuner. I'm not saying it's not at all. And I love the Helix because the amount of things that thing can do for me and make my life easier as a gigging musician, hopefully soon, is amazing. I mean, there's just so many choices and so many different ways you can actually wire it up and use it. I mean, like for instance, for the fringe stuff, I bought a...
When he says the fringe stuff, he's talking about Baby Wants Candy, the comedy troupe.
Yeah. So when I'm this year, I bought a Power Cab Plus, which is what's known as an FR. So I can use it completely flat, or I can put speaker emulations on the cabinet itself, or I can load IRs in, which is impulse responses, as you know, and it would save memory on the Helix if I do that. But I basically just put it flat so that whatever I'm feeding to the Helix actually is what's coming out of there, is what you're actually going to hear.
Yeah.
Right. But I could also at the same time set the signal path so that I would send that to front of house. I'd send a stereo pair via the two outs at the back of there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more than that. I mean, you can assign anything you want to the back of that, and that's just something we'll be discussing in another video or something.
Yeah.
But I can actually send a separate pair of outs to the front of house via the DIs on the actual pedal, and it does not affect anything that's coming through that cabinet. I was using the cabinet purely as a monitor, and I can affect the actual amount of volume getting at the monitor without affecting what the front of house is getting.
That's the goal, isn't it?
Totally.
You know,
I mean,
like you want a cab that's not, because if I used any of this shit here on a live gig, then whatever I do on stage is going to affect them, and it's going to piss off the front house guy.
Because the guy's constantly having to dance with it.
You know,
Sure.
I've even experienced it recently with Gibby and Dean, the drummer and bass player in my band, using in-ears, and if I'm using a live amp and I want to turn it up, they're like, can you turn that down? It's they never said that because they have it so low, because it's still live in their ear somehow, you know. But yeah, I can understand how that's a blessing for you to be able to just change your monitor output without fucking with the guy's input.
It means I can be completely happy with what I'm hearing, and not affecting anything they're doing.
So does it make sense for you to, when you say use that as a monitor, we've talked about this before a little bit, but the headrush stuff is actually set up like a monitor, where you would actually put it in front of you and face you. And the cab stuff, yeah, it's cool, because I've got one of the Laneys as well. I've got a Laney FR, well, the only one they've got actually, with the wee light thing on it. And yeah, it looks like a cab, sounds like a cab if you set it up as such, but it's still projecting sound from the back of the stage, and the sound guy can still tell you to turn that down.
Well, no, I mean, how I've used it, obviously I've done 26 gigs this year, because I was away with Schenker again, and basically it's how you set it up. As long as you're not impinging, I mean, all the guys that are in the cast for the Baby Wants Candy stuff, they all wear lavaliers, right? So, which is basically like a mic that's taped to your face, and the mic is right in front of you. The audience can't see it.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is that as long as I'm not impinging on any vocal or input they're receiving or giving.
Impinging, by the way. Is that a real word?
Of course it is. Fucking go and read your
Impinging
dictionary.
is a great word.
Fucking hell.
I just
man.
didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
I would have said intruding.
Impinging.
Impinging.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the
Go on,
definition of that?
Check it out. It means you're not actually, coming into something that shouldn't be there.
Right.
Anyway, so as long as you're not impinging on it, then basically what happens is all I'm using is for my own ears.
Right.
It's for me to be able to hear what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Because the monitor that sits on, there's 2 monitors that are on stage for the band. One is for the MD, musical director, and he should have one because he's effectively leading what's happening, right? Although not always, but at the same time, he directs what's happening. That's his job, you know what I mean? And Adrian's fucking amazing, by the way. He is such a fucking player and a lovely guy. But as are all the other MDs we've had, absolutely fantastic. But basically what happens is that normally the monitor will sit between the MD and the bass player, who's to my left and slightly ahead of me. The drummer sits directly behind me. So it's really difficult for me to hear if I had a monitor sitting there, and it's not practical because the actual stage space that I'll take up is far too much.
Right.
The guys in the cast have got to come round by the side of me when they come in and when they're actually doing the show. So I can't have anything there at all. I need to keep that clear. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's always been a case of, have something directly behind me that I can control, that I will hear. And the other guys that are in the surrounding area, as in the rest of the band, will hear, but it won't impinge on what the guys in the cast are getting.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't become overbearing.
Yeah.
It's just enough that I can actually connect with what I'm doing. What's coming from my fingers to the amp, to my ears. That's it. That's all I need.
So do the guys in the cast, do they have in-ears? Or they just hear what's coming from the side of the stage that you're at?
No, normally there's monitors which are flying up in the rigging.
Right.
And you'll hear that. Other than that, I don't think they've got any ears. I think they've got the lavaliers.
Right.
I might be wrong. I don't know because I'm not involved in that side of it. But
Right. Because I would feel like, I thought that when I first came to the show, I was like, okay, this is not going to be singers. It's going to be comics trying to sing.
They can all sing like
But
fuck.
but as soon as the first song came in, which was like the first thing they did, was like an opening, Dr. Pooh, Dr. Pooh. Obviously that was the first one we saw, But I was just like, Jesus, these guys can actually sing as well. So that made me think, well, how are they getting the audio to their ears? Because I didn't think they had any ears going on.
No, I don't think
I
they
could
have.
see the headphone mics.
Yeah, that's just a lavalier for the mic to pick up their voices so that they can actually mix them out front of house.
Yeah.
But,
so they're literally just getting that from up the top, and
yeah.
there was no
There's
monitors.
there's no monitors down on the floor.
Because they need to keep clean stage.
Yeah.
So that they can.
Because sometimes the cast will actually go out in the audience.
Yeah.
They will basically just fucking walk right out.
They need to be able to just jump off and jump
and
back on.
they've done it,
whatever.
and it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times also where the cast have actually thrown all the band off stage, apart from me. I was the only guy who did not throw off stage because the guy, I can't remember, I think it was, who was it that done it? I can't remember. Anyway, one of the guys came towards me and I just looked at him and went, you really want to fucking do that? Do you know what I mean? Fuck off. So, and it was funny because You know, everybody else had went off, and you had Giovanni playing bass. I can't remember who was playing drums. Fuck. And somebody else was playing keys. It was, you know, basically they replaced 3 of the guys out of the band, and I just sat there and I ain't fucking moving. Do you know what I mean? Fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, because I'm too old to get back up here.
Well, I'm not too old to fucking scale you in the side of the head anyway or what.
Yeah, we'll cut that bit out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bit when I slap you. Like a bitch.
I think it's pronounced biatch these days.
Is it? Oh, right, sorry. I'm not down with the kids anyway. I'm 61, fuck's sake, man.
61?
Yeah.
I thought you were 51.
Yeah, that's what I tell her.
Every time I speak to you, you have a different age.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I went for 2 months thinking you were 70.
Dude, I am not ashamed of my age at all.
Anyway, you brought it up, so...
Anyway.
Yeah. So what's next on the cards for you then? You said something earlier about you're going to start maybe thinking about doing another originals band.
Yeah.
Keep your hands off Gibby and Dean, please.
I don't think they come and play.
I need them because
anyway, so.
without them I'm nothing.
Like you work incredibly well as a unit. I mean,
Well,
the
that's
guys
nice
are
to
just
see.
just like that, man. I just
No, I was just kidding there, but yeah, but it's I can see why a lot of people, like I talk to Ben Stones a lot, and he loves Gibby and Dean, but he always has pelters for me. There's pelters aplenty, and I'm just like, I can take it because I know why they're there. You know what I mean?
Aye.
You want them. You don't need me. You want them. I'm like, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But you know what? It's a two-way street because I don't need a bald Elton John.
I'm glad they're not talking about me because I don't play keys very well anyway.
No, I was talking about Ben
Oh, right.
Stones. And I'll cut this bit out as well.
Aye, it's no doubt. I hope you're watching Ben because
There's no way he's watching right now. He hasn't watched for months.
he's probably too busy thinking his bum, but that's another story.
Too busy watching his cholesterol. Oh, Jesus.
Right, enough of that. That's bad chat.
It is.
Nobody needs to hear that. What's beautiful?
Marzipan said that is beautiful.
Ah.
That was about, well, that was probably about 10 minutes.
Probably you're right.
20 minutes ago.
I think I already switched off. And I don't blame him because we're talking shit.
Well, we're not talking shit, we're just talking not
We're just talking.
widespread. Oh, my sister messaged me earlier on saying, I can recommend Sheng Wang, stand-up comedian on Netflix. It's been a long time since I've watched a stand-up and laughed at nearly every joke. And I said, oh, is she up there with Michael McIntyre and Mrs. Brown's Boys?
Oh, that's bad. That's
she
bad
said-
chat.
Never mind.
Oh well, never mind.
I thought she liked those two comedians.
Did she?
I thought she did. What's your favourite comedian?
You, I laugh at you every day.
In that case, mine's Dean.
Even just a thought. Just listening to that. Is that not lovely? No the way I'm playing, I'm talking about.
Oh no, that I like.
Hear the chime on it?
Yeah, very nice. Any guitar players still watching? This is how you set up a digital tone now. It's beautiful. Right, so
I love this guitar. Edge of breakup. It's a beauty.
And that's the magic of a Richie Kotzen Telecaster.
Yeah. I wish I could play it like he could.
Yeah. Don't we all, man?
Yeah.
That sounded great, by the way. That was a nice wee run through. I actually, as much as when it comes to lead playing, I'm much more of a bridge guy, as I think we all are, you know.
Yeah.
But when you switch to the neck there, it was so clear. And I think that comes from the fact that the bridge is a humbucker
Yeah.
disguised as a single coil.
Yeah.
And then when you switch between the two, there's not really much to be done tone-wise to kind of compensate. You know, we were talking about once before about when I used your lady, which is kind of a, because that's maybe to come in a little bit.
Yeah.
Unless you want to save that for another day.
Oh, it's up to you, man. We can bring it out just now if you want. What have I got out there? Yeah, I've got two left. Two left to bring out today. So
Let's
it's up
do
to
it.
you, man.
Let's do it.
Shall we?
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take another just a very quick break, if you don't mind, guys. Eddie will set up his guitars, and I'm going to go for a sing. Is that all right?
Yeah. Go for it.
So don't go anywhere, because Eddie's going to come back with the top two guitar players, top two guitars he owns and that I've ever played. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really play them live because I'm not cool enough to play Les Paul.
Oh, you played one of them live.
I played one of them live and I was terrified the whole time. I think I played one of them live for about 15 minutes and I was like, somebody's going to break this and it ain't going to be me, but I'll get the blame. So, yeah, let's just switch to the break. And, we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Thanks, guys. What we're talking about now is... hey, Eddie, how you doing?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Good, yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
What we're talking about in this next part of the podcast is two of Eddie's favourite guitars that he owns, and this one is a guitar that has ruined. This guitar has ruined every guitar with humbuckers in the world for me.
Honest?
Yeah. This is I'll let Eddie talk to you about this one.
Right, okay. This is what's affectionately known as the White Lady. That way. Aye. Gibson custom, and bought it at what's the name of the shop now? Shit, I've totally forgotten. Sound Control. Right.
Wait, was that the one that was in Otago Street?
No, that's CC.
Oh yeah,
Which is a great shop, by the way.
Sound Control was Kenny's music.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right.
Basically, Sound Control was, or most of the guys that worked in Sound Control then migrated to what is now guitar to guitar. Mm-hmm. Or as Sharon calls it, guitar. She does. I don't know why the fuck she calls it that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that's where it was where Kenny's music is now, and the funny story is that they actually I said I wanted to buy one of these white customs, and they were going to stop the production of them. So this is what I was told anyway, but they actually sent up something like about 19 of them to Glasgow, and I went through about, I think it was 15 or 16 of them, and I got one which I thought was the one. Do you know what I mean? You're spending that kind of money on a guitar, you want it to be. And it was like, fuck. I connected with it right away. And we were headlining a show at the Glasgow Garage about a night or two later.
That's not just a garage in Glasgow, that's the Glasgow Garage.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know Glasgow.
Basically what had happened was the way we used to start our show, we were called Godswin at that point, and I used to go on stage with a full 32 button cassock.
What's a cassock?
Well, a cassock is basically it's a priest's coat jacket, right? I mean, it goes right down to the floor. It's like fucking buttons all the way right down there. And obviously, I'm not going to go into the priesthood story.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that.
No,
yeah.
not at all. I do not want to go down that road. But so it was quite funny how I actually got the cassock, because it's quite hard to get them. And I'd went to the Archdiocese and spoke to a priest, got him to open the door to speak to me. He was quite, what the fuck do you want, you know? And I says, look, you know, I'm an ex-priest, which I'd done some training. But anyway, so, and I lied to him a wee bit. And I said, look, I need to get, you know, a new cassock. Where are you guys buying yours from? So he gave me a contact. I then contacted them and they then sent me one. I think I've still got it somewhere. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not something I'm going to wear out because it's very heavy. But there's a lot of material on it. And anyway, so what I used to do is I would wear this cassock. You know, basically the band's called Godswin, right? So it kind of made some sort of sense. And the lights would be, the stage would be completely dark. I would be off stage using a wireless, and I would start playing the intro riff to the first song off stage. I would then walk on stage in the dark and stand in the centre, and then one spotlight would come on, and then Hutch and would sneak up the back, get his drum kit, and T-Bone, the bass player, would be there at the side as well. And basically as soon as I had about I think it was 4 bars I'd play, and then the lights come on and we would just basically be running about putting a show on, basically, right? I mean, because that's what this business is about at the end of the day. We're there to entertain people. And we then kick in nice slippers, by the way. I've just noticed them.
Would you notice?
No, I just noticed you're wearing slippers. No, but anyway.
You've just noticed I've been wearing slippers all night.
Fucking slippers. How rock and roll is that?
Would you want me to wear like fucking cowboy boots up the stairs in my house?
I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it just made me laugh. Anyway,
what are you wearing? Trainers. Should have taken them off when you came in. That's polite. He's wearing like outdoor slippers.
Yeah, because we're going to be getting fucking outdoor. That's how. Fuck's sake, man. Anyway, so I forgot what the thread of the story was there. We're talking about this, and basically, well, it's not this, it's the one previous to this. So what had happened was that I'd actually started playing the riff, got on stage, and then when the actual song proper kicked in before the vocals come on, it just went bleh, like that. The tuning just fucking went, and I'm like, fuck, right? So I'm looking over at the guitar tech, and I kind of threw the guitar at him. He caught it and he'd already seen what had happened, and what any fucking Fantastic Tech would. Come running up and gave me my other guitar, and I just launched back into the riff again and carried on. So I took it back the next day, and they gave me another 2, well, the remaining 2 to actually get through, and I chose this one. So this
amazing
has actually stood the test of time, and it's a fucking monster of a guitar.
So what was the other one of the 2 like? Was it better than the one you had before? Was it better than number 17? Because this is number 19, surely.
Well, no, I mean, I went through all those ones. I went, yeah, nice. And Gibson's quality at that time, and it's better now than it was.
Wait a minute, what year is this then?
Fuck.
Because that's a question that most people just want to ask straight away, isn't it? What year is it, mate?
I know.
They don't want to. They don't ask what does it sound like.
I think this is a 2001. I think, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Yeah. I mean, the first one I took, it connected to me like that. Do you know what I mean? You know how guitars go like that. You put it in your hand and you go, aye, that works. Do you know what I mean? It does. It's like, it's in there right away.
Either does or it doesn't.
Aye, exactly. And you go, oh shit, no.
Yeah.
Right. But that first one did. But if it's going to fucking just do what it done and just disappear into fucking God knows what tuning, you can't fucking work with that, you know. It just doesn't work. So I took it back, and 2 guitars later I found this one. And whilst it was not as immediate a connection, what this guitar has done for me over the years is just like fucking hell, man. Aye. It blows me away, and it's a beautiful back kit.
It is very beautiful. And can you show the guys again the guitar?
It's just a white Les Paul custom. I mean, we've all seen them.
It's not just a white Les Paul custom, man. It's the most beautiful. I'm not just saying this, man, but I see a lot of white Les Pauls.
Yeah.
But this is like there's a couple of guys come into jams and they've got a Les Paul. That, it's beautiful. It's black. It's fucking red. It's like. But there's a couple of guys coming with white ones, and it's like, the white ones are better. No, but this is like the best example of it, and I've played a lot of them. The great thing about being a jammer, and I don't really know if a lot of people appreciate this, but like when you go to jams, one of my favourite things about going to jams is playing different guitars that you wouldn't necessarily buy, but at least you get an idea of what they feel like and sound like.
Yeah.
Well, not even really sound like, but feel like, because they're going. You're putting a Gretsch through a fucking Marshall. It's like nobody would ever do that.
Well,
like you wouldn't do that. You know.
Why would you?
Well, you and I wouldn't use a Gretsch anyway.
No.
Leave that to Brian Setzer, you know.
Yeah.
But,
It's fucking fantastic, by the way.
But yeah, absolutely. But which is why I actually have a Gretsch downstairs behind my couch, which I've never used. I bought it for somebody, and then something else happened, and you know.
Oh, by the way, can I say something about this guitar? Right.
Well, we're here to talk about this guitar, man. So,
I just in case anybody from Baby Witch Candy is actually still watching this, or actually watching that at all. Last run, I had a problem with this because I brought it out for one night, and somebody accidentally knocked it over.
oh my god.
No. Listen. No, I cannot for life of me remember the name of the poor girl that done it, because I actually had a rather big outburst about it, and I apologise for that. But just to let you know, I've actually got official Gibson speed knobs back in, and it is all good. So sorry for having a shout at you.
Well, you know, if they've...
No, I know, but you know, at the end of the day, you know,
All right, cool.
no, I thought it warranted a. Sorry about that.
Oh, because you went off your nut?
Yeah,
Yeah. But they didn't...
I wouldn't want me shouting at me.
Yeah, but you didn't... But they didn't fix it, though.
No, of course they didn't. But at the end of the day, you know, they're young. They didn't realise what the implication was of that happened. So,
But they were young, so...
Look, come on.
No, but that's
Yeah, come on,
if they're
fine.
young, that's different, because they don't have the experience to know how to handle
No, I know it's not. It wasn't.
professional gear.
I mean, this was still in its case. I know this is going to sound ridiculous to any guitar player, but this was still in its case. It was all original, and I sort of prided myself on looking after it well enough that every single bit on this was original. And it got knocked over. Now, the whole thing, basically, there was a keyboard case ran right through the thing that was standing on stage, and it got absolutely flattened. I mean, opened the case, basically everything was all smashed. So it is absolutely pristine now. So please take my apology and be rest assured it is as, you know what I mean? So it's all good. I just wanted to apologise.
All's been forgotten.
Of course, aye.
Right.
Aye, it was a mistake, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake,
Well,
people make them.
I'm sure this is the best platform to apologise to him on, man. He's definitely going to watch this.
She. Yeah.
Or they.
No, it's a she. It's a female.
Right.
I'm not into all this fucking... she, he, fucking whatever, you know.
Speaking about things that should be talked about on other podcasts,
Yeah.
we're going to go into very much detail on Eddie's Helix pedalboard on another podcast because you've got a lot of shit to talk about with this, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's like... this thing actually changed how I play, believe it or not. Because it's so fucking versatile. You can use this any way you can think of and then some.
I mean, it looks like the most, as you guys know, like earlier on I took a picture of it. I was going to put it in the comments there, but realised you can't post pictures to the Twitch comment feed, because if you could, the whole thing would be a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'll attach it to the YouTube thing. In fact, what we're going to do is when I upload this to YouTube, some of what we did tonight, Eddie's pedalboard will be up here in the corner. This corner, probably maybe that corner, to cover up the booze.
Who wants to cover up booze?
So
So you want to drink it?
Yeah. So if you want to see the settings and the pedals that Eddie's using and the kind of stuff that he's using it for.
I mean, the stuff I'm using tonight is actually a patch that I bought. I can't remember who it was from. It was either Jason Sadites or, oh God, what's the guy's name? He's absolutely fantastic fucking guitar player and programmer. I can't remember, but I will, when we do the other stream or YouTube video, I will actually, you know, give credence to the guy that actually put that up. But basically I took that as a starting point, and I think this is really important for a lot of guys that maybe are stepping into digital stuff, is that don't be afraid to actually download some stuff and see what fits for you, and use that as a starting point, because it gives you a huge leapfrog up to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I often find that when you get a pedal board that's got, you got the 100 user presets, well, you got 100 user banks and you've got 100 presets.
yeah,
And it's like, well, you know, what do I need the presets for? But then it's like they do give you ideas, they give you inspiration.
Totally.
Most of them are shit and unusable,
Well,
but you can tweak them.
yes and no. I mean,
You know?
most of them are unusable in a band context, I would say. As in, you know, I mean, who the fuck wants saying it's like some sort of cavernous sound, unless you know that's what you're into. But if it's not going to sit well in a mix,
Yeah.
you know, it's not something you're actually actively going to use. Do you know what I mean? But what the presets for me normally do is they'll showcase, you know, what the unit can actually do.
Yeah, that's what I always think about that when I buy a digital.
It takes it
gear.
to
It's like,
extremes, doesn't it?
even with the stuff that you told me about, because let's talk a little bit about it. I don't know how this audio is coming across, because your mic sounds amazing and mine only sounds great when I'm right up close, but
That's because I'm talking through it and you're not talking through mine.
that's the thing. You've just got this. Yeah, let me do an AV.
you. Camden.
You got. Let's put them together. You could use a whole podcast doing ASMR or whatever it's called. I'm Eddie, and I'm gonna teach you about.
Alright, you can love this.
So Eddie turned me onto a website called STL Tones, which is, and by the way, this podcast is clearly not sponsored by anybody, because we're slagging off people and.
No, but we're looking for some.
Jack, honey.
Honey Jack, even.
No, I was saying Jack, honey.
I ain't your honey.
Come here, you. And so Eddie turned me on to STL Tones, and it's one of the best, I would say, and I haven't used all of them. I haven't used many of them, to be honest, because I'm very much mic or an amp and fuck the neighbours kind of guy. Normally, well, I was before, but now that I, bought the house and I actually have neighbours and I like living here, I'm like, shit.
I hope many of his neighbours are watching this, by the way.
Well, actually, I hope they are, because I hope they appreciate how much lengths they go to.
How considerate you're being
to not annoy. Yeah, I've got fucking, all these amps back here that I never use because I don't want to annoy them.
Yeah, that's very considerate.
And in return, they don't cut the grass at 4 a.m.
Who the fuck's going to do that?
Mentalists, but I do live in the East End, so you never know.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. X-nay on there. Yeah.
Anyway.
So STL tones. So you
Yes.
turn me on to, you use, I use Amp Hub. You use Tone Hub mainly, don't you?
No, I also use Amp Hub, but I've got lots of stuff on Tone Hub. Artist, sort of settings. One of my favourites is actually Andy James. That stuff is just like fucking hell, man. Just right out of the box. It's just
Right. Now, Andy James is more your style because it's that low kind of double rectifier kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas my group that in fact you recommended it to me was Howard Benson.
Yes,
because he had
the
much more
Howard
of the
Benson
pop
stuff. It's just dynamite, man.
I mean, by the way, these guys are not necessarily famous musicians. Although Andy James is, but they're producers as well.
Well, Andy James is now playing with Five Finger Death Punch.
Right. Okay. So I guess I'm really just talking about Howard Benson, because Howard Benson's what.
Yeah, I took you to see.
Yeah, he did take me to see Five Finger Death Punch, but I actually preferred
the band that was supporting.
I'm not saying I was amazed by Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, they're just fucking dynamite live.
Amazing.
Dynamite.
But what was the support band that I liked? Was it Of Mice and Men?
I think it might have been.
Yeah. I just
mean, the whole show, everything was just like different level.
Yeah.
Different level, man.
I mean,
and that was through an old drummer of mine who's now one of the head techs at, is it the OVO it's called? OVO, is that what it's called? Hydro?
Oh, the OVO Hydro.
Aye.
Yeah, it's not the...
it's an old drummer of mine, very good friend, Alan. He's just, what a fucking phenomenal drummer that boy is, by the way. Absolutely phenomenal, but what an engineer as well.
Can I put him in touch with Gibby?
Why would you need to do that? Because Gibby's fucking phenomenal.
Teach him how to count to 4.
He doesn't need to count to 4, no for cunts like you.
No, I mean, Gibby could teach him. I will never say a bad thing about Gibby, man. Gibby is the greatest drummer on the
punch
planet.
this guy in the balls.
I just said Gibby could teach this guy how to play.
Right.
That's what I said. Maybe he could teach him.
I think they're pretty much on a par.
Okay, let's go with that.
Makes it good for everybody. I'll tell you what I said later.
Right, okay, are we going to hear something from this white lady, by the way?
Okay, so you want to, fuck. Wait a minute. You're still expecting me to play at this fucking stage of the night?
Just in case anybody's still watching and doesn't get the references, Gibby is the drummer in my band.
Probably
he's
not,
a
because
phenomenal drummer.
nobody's commenting, which is cool.
Yeah.
Let's put it to neck pickup. I'll take the output. And
By the way, this is just to clarify for you guys today. This is I normally do these podcasts sometimes, and it's normally pre-recorded, and then we edit it and go to YouTube. But today, because it's Eddie, who's an old pal of mine, he's not an old pal. I'm just saying we've known each other for a long time. I just thought we would just stream it live. So if you've got any comments or whatever or questions, feel free to fire them up in the comments. But it'll be up on YouTube. An edited version of this whole podcast will be up on YouTube.
Yeah, I might have to re-record most of it.
I don't think so, man. I don't do re-records. I'm a big fan of Bill Burr. He's the podcast hero of mine. He never does re-records. I'm just going to shut up and let you hear this. White Lady.
So there you go. That's how you got it out.
Now that is one of the. I've had a few Les Pauls. In fact, my first guitar was a Les Paul, but and I always thought for the rest of my life I was going to be a Les Paul player, but then just somebody gave me a telly, and I was like, oh, you can. There's more note definition in a telly. I thought it was still a cheap telly, and then years later, okay, I'll skip forward 20 years, and then you kindly loaned me that for one gig, and for about 5 years before that I was Strats tellies, modified versions thereof, you know, and then you loaned me that and I was like, wow, I'm getting everything I ever need out of this, but now I look cool.
Yeah, apart from the fact you were going, oh, my fucking shoulder.
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
This is probably one of the heaviest guitars I've got.
Yeah, dude, honestly, it's the heaviest guitar I've ever played. And I've actually played old Telecasters.
Yeah.
The Telecasters were actually known as being heavier than Les Pauls.
Well, I mean,
first.
the Richie Kotzen it weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Right? But this is it just edges it a wee bit. I mean, there's absolutely zero weight relief in this. And that's how I like it, because you're going to get a more consistent sustain. The notes just sing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate weight relieved guitars.
Yeah.
I hate them. I cannot fucking
Oh,
stand
see,
them.
wait. So, I mean, I kind of know what you mean by weight relieved. Are you talking about a solid body guitar that's really hollow? It looks like a solid body, but it's got scoops in the inside.
I mean,
because I would have thought, like, because I love my 339. Is that not classed as a weight relief?
No.
Like,
That's a whole different ballgame altogether.
Right.
I mean, it's like my 335 is actually heavier than I was expecting, because I thought it was a hollow body guitar, and technically it is, but there's
it's just the wings that are hollow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I was not expecting that when I bought it, and I went, fucking hell, that's really fucking heavy. What the fuck? And then I went, oh, and I kind of looked and I went, right, I'm getting it now. And it's still lighter, obviously, than this, as is pretty much every other guitar I've got.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, I love this. I mean, I would do 6-hour rehearsals every week slavishly with this on my back, and people that whine about, you know, the weight of Les Pauls, fuck off, you know what I mean? Just
Oh, I know.
grow up pair of boys, you know what I mean? Just, if you want to wear a man's guitar, fucking put it on and play it. Do you know what I mean? Don't be a pussy. Do you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with you on that, man, with this guitar. Because there are, like, light Les Pauls available. We're not saying that Les Pauls are all heavy.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that EP I've got, it's about half the weight of this. Right? And it sounds beautiful, it plays beautiful. But when I put it on, I don't feel like I'm wearing a Les Paul.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When I put this on, I know I'm wearing a Les Paul. Do you know what I mean? It hits you. It's like, aye, I've got this on. This means business. You know what I mean? It's going to, aye.
But the sound translates with that, because it sounds.
Totally.
It actually sounds like a heavy guitar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the rhythm, even the treble pickup sounds like a heavy guitar.
Aye, you can feel the weight in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you can get away with almost having like straight into it. Like that would be the Hoffman there, the plexi copy would be the perfect amp for that guitar.
Totally. I mean,
I wish we had the time, and I wish we had the.
I think at some point we should
noises.
maybe do that and actually get that rigged up.
That would be nice, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a few. We're talking about guitars tonight, but you've got a few nice amps in the house as well, haven't you?
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
Not as much as I would like, but I've got a few.
Yeah.
There's a few that are now missing from my collection, sadly. But aye.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Mesa stuff and all that. I mean, I'm an old 80s guitar player, so a lot of my shit is rack mounted, with switchable systems and stuff like that. Aye, it's nice, you know, and I use stereo 412s, and I use a split signal, you know, both sides of the stage, like miles away from each other, so that wherever you are on the stage, you're going to hear it, and it's going to be fucking loud, and that's what it's about. That's what it should be about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think far too many clubs and musicians have actually, you know, went, you know, we need to tone this down just to make it all right, you know.
Dude, that's the world I'm living in right now.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking,
and you always say to me, like, why do you just bring in a fucking Marshall 8x12? And
fucking
I'm
bring it in.
because there's no fucking point, man. There's no point.
Kick their fucking ass, that's what I say. At the end of the day, the people that are actually driving this shit are the people who are the bar owners and the people who are actually, you know, being on the ambi-pambi about it. At the end of the day, people went to see live music because it was loud, it was in your face. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And if you give them that now, they'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about gigs like the Cat House, Ivory Blacks.
No, I'm talking about gigs like La Costiera, like the Dial-In, like Burns House, right? All back in the day, stuff before you were born, right? But
now it's okay to talk about the age difference.
No, I'm just saying that's when all those venues were opened.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, people expected if you turned up with less than a 412 in a head.
I know.
It was like, who the fuck is this? You know, no real band. We'll go to the next
right.
pub, and you could actually easily go and see maybe 5 or 6 bands in the one night in the space, and in the actual vicinity of the city centre, easily.
Well, I totally respect that, man, because I would love to have lived in that era where it was okay to use fucking Marshall 8x12.
I wasn't saying it was okay, it was just the norm.
Or a 4x, or the norm, you know. But now I feel like I'm in this kind of wee middle ground between guys that do that needlessly. You must agree there's some guys who use massive stacks in tiny pubs who shouldn't be, because they don't know how to control the volume.
It's relative, because if you've got one guy that turns up with a 412 in a head and everybody else is using like a 1x12 combo or going through a desk, it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? And then of course, the proliferation of, you know, jam sessions, which is fucking ridiculous. People just turn up and they don't actually know how to give everybody else space. It's so fucking infuriating.
Dude, that's exactly. I didn't think we would actually get onto this tonight. And by the way, we still have to have time to go on to.
We'll get one more to go.
You know,
aye.
But what we'll touch on just now is the fact that, which you just said was like, doesn't matter what amp, what gear you're using, how big your kit is, how big your bass rig is, leave space. You know.
Yeah.
I could quite happily play with my little 1x12 beside you with your 8x12, as long as you know where the fucking volume knob is.
You know I'm going to crank that back to let you go out and do your bit.
Exactly, man.
Right? I see jam sessions for me are fucking infuriating, because everybody's trying to play at the top of everybody.
There's actually there's probably 2 going on right now in Glasgow, which would infuriate both of us, and we're going to be at one of them in about an hour.
Yeah, I know.
Probably.
That'll be the Howlin'
But the thing
Wolf.
is,
I'm going to actually name it. It's the fucking Howlin' Wolf.
It's the Howlin' Wolf.
And it fucking infuriates me, because
I didn't say that.
I did.
Eddie did.
I'll take the
Right.
hit on that. But at the end of the day, it fucking infuriates me because people do not know how to let people actually have a space.
I think I'll just speak for every amateur. Well, I'll speak for everybody who runs a jam night where amateurs might show up. Everybody knows where the on switch is, but they never can find the off switch.
No, they can never find the volume down switch.
That's what I mean. So they can find the boost pedal when it comes to their solo, but they can't find find it when it comes to turn it off. It's like, it's my turn to solo, bang, and they'll do the solo, but they'll leave it on for the whole rest of the song.
Right, so I'm going to give you an example, right? So the last time I played, I'm trying to remember where it was.
Can't you just be glad to be on the stage with these musicians?
It's about actually understanding what's going on around about you. You know, it's not fucking all about you.
Well, I think you'll find, Eddie, it is all about me.
No.
And it always will be all about me.
It never will be, mate, honestly. But, no, I mean, it's like...
Don't think you got the irony there.
Anyway, so, no, it's really... It fucking infuriates me so much. And it's partially one of the main reasons why you can never get me up to actually do a jam. Because I'm like, this just fucking does my tits in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Howling Wolf on a Thursday night is not a jam. I still can't get you up to do that.
No, because I don't... anyway, that's a different story, right? But I'll talk about that later. But no, what I'm saying is that the whole fucking jam session thing just really infuriates me because people have no consideration about what everybody else is doing. They don't understand spatial awareness, you know, and volumes and...
Well, some people don't.
Most people don't.
I'm really trying to be the devil's advocate here.
I know you're, because you're in a position whereby you're playing these places. I don't have to be so fucking...
But I genuinely think that most people do. It's just like the few people that don't are the ones that ruin it for everybody.
Not at jams, you don't. They don't. You get bass players that just wank out a tap of everything when, you know, there's no need. You're a bass player, you need to fucking hold the beat down.
Yeah, dude,
Do you know
I'm
what I mean?
not... Yeah, all right. You're right, I'm not going to...
Do you know what I mean? Come on.
I think we both know...
I ain't naming anybody here, but you know exactly what
We don't
I'm
have
fucking
to.
talking
We don't
about.
have to name anybody
No,
at
of
all,
course we don't.
because
But it's a common thread though. It goes right through, you know, what happens in jam sessions. It's like people just want to wank over everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for fuck's sake, if you're going to do that, go in the house, go into the bathroom and do it yourself. You know, don't do it in front of a fucking audience. You know, give me fucking peace.
give me fucking peace.
You know, I don't come out here to stand at the bar, buy a drink, and stand and watch you go like that.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
I would like to, going back to the original point though, I would like to go to a jam session and see you doing at least a little bit of that.
No, I don't masturbate in public. I do it in private. But I'm happy to actually noodle a wee bit if you like.
Well, all I was trying to say was I'd like to see you jam sometimes, you know.
Well, no, I mean...
Because the only time I ever see you playing guitar is when we're hanging out.
I mean, I came up for a few jams, you know, and I've really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not my most comfortable position to actually do.
Mate, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And that's really more to do with all my personal experience that's happened there the past couple of years. I've lost a lot of confidence and shit. I'm not going to go into that in at the moment, but I know I can play the stuff. It's not that kind of issue. It's just like, you know, I just need to get my head fucking in the right place.
I think this is me being a little bit probably too open right now, and we might cut this bit out, but I think I get this at the moment anyway. I've got this thing for being a good guitar player, but I'm only a good guitar player because of who I'm playing with. You chuck me on stage with a bunch of random guys, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we've got set pieces and set riffs. It's all about syncopation and bits and pieces. Like, I'm not a good soloist. Like, you put me and Gav on stage beside each other at a jam night, you know, he's going to kick the arse off me. The only reason that, and I really mean that, by the way, Gav McCrory, if you're watching this.
Great player.
Amazing guitar player, and every
Shape
time,
battle though. I've kidding, Gav, honest.
well, you'll never be in this podcast because he's a Tory.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to cut that bit.
you
out.
said it now.
That's
It's it there.
that's a joke, obviously.
No, it's not.
Actually, I might just keep this in.
Aye, I
You
think
know,
you should.
clickbait. You know,
Aye.
is Gav a Tory?
That's it, headline.
And what's wrong with being a
it's
Tory?
banner. It's a banner, it's not a headline, is it?
Can Tories be blues players?
Kin Tory. As in K-I-N.
Okay, I think we've deviated from the subject here.
Right, so anyway. No, jam sessions. Loved them. They started a bit. I just went fucking shot to shit, man. It's just like too much.
I don't have a problem with them because I see bands forming from them, you know, and I feel like it'd be hard to do that otherwise.
Well, no, I don't agree with it. I mean, I think a lot of. I mean, you've hosted a few jams, so you're kind of on a certain another side of the fence, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to host them again unless I had to.
yeah, I don't doubt for a second there must be a fucking logistical nightmare. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how Charlotte and that does it. You know
Well,
what
I said I'll host it as long as somebody else does. I'll do the chat if somebody else does the business side of it.
I mean, I think for me the best one I've actually ever encountered is obviously Jim Keel's thing. You know what I mean? That's just.
Well, he's just fucking.
I mean,
But Jim's in this perfect situation where he only attracts, like, clear thinking musicians to his jams. He's not getting guys
That's why
and
I
girls
don't go
coming
often.
up. And no, this is what the thing is. This is what the thing is. The State Bar jam, and most of his jams only run till 10 or 11. Most of the jams in Glasgow City Centre start at 11.
aye.
Therefore, you're getting piss heads. Hey, mate!
You
Mate! I'm quoting Stuart Francis right now. He's like, mate. You know, you probably wouldn't have seen it, but it's a fucking brilliant
No, I
sketch.
didn't, but
And it's
I
like,
get what you mean.
gonna let me sing fucking Wonderwall. Even I'm a guy who loves Wonderwall, right? I love Oasis. Shut the fuck up.
I know.
It's like,
You need
even
therapy.
I'm like, no mate, no the night. He's like, mate. I'm like,
But that's
no.
the perfect voice for that shit.
Nah, I'd be like, mate, you mate.
Oh,
You're my wonder. His hand's behind his back. He's got coke in one hand and a knife in the other.
And he doesn't know how to use any of the two of them.
Well, one begets the other. He's going to take one off the other.
You reckon?
Yeah. Anyway,
So there we go.
so that's our chat on jams.
Is anybody watching?
Fall down, Neely. Casey's on.
Is he? How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you, Neely. Oh, Gary McFarlane's just showed up. Oh, holy shit! We've got a bit of chat that we didn't catch up on here.
Shit.
Sorry, guys, we're getting a bit steaming, so let's.
I'll be our first.
Andy Paws said, "Sound great, man. I use the Brit." Oh, we had that earlier, right? Trialala. Okay, I don't understand why people have these crazy names. Welcome, I'm MexiGary. Hi, Trialala. Marzipan 33 said that is beautiful. I think she was talking about your tone earlier on. Because Trialala says, because Triala was taken.
Ah,
Right.
that makes
sense. Jinx, buy me a Coke. A diet caffeine free one. Fall down Neely says, what up? And Gary says, so much for getting drunk with you fuckers. Sorry, man. Oh, Gary says, can barely hear you, but me and old Fall Down Neely are in the Wolf. Oh, I thought the sound was fucked. But it turns out they're in the Wolf right now.
Ah.
Which is funny because I actually did say about an hour ago.
in the home of a shite jam.
I did actually say that you and I might be in the Wolf for about 11.
Yeah, we would be. But I think it's a wee bit past that.
So should we
It's,
make a move?
20-12. I've got one more thing to
You
do.
what? Yes, we do. We do have one more to show. Let's do it.
Right, okay.
Go for it.
Give me a 5-minute break.
Right.
And I
let's do
promise
it.
it.
No problem.
Who are misses?
Right. So let's go back to Eddie's cam here, and we'll. Is that a better angle, or is this a better angle? I think this is a better angle, actually.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Do you want to hold that up and show the people? Talk to the people about this guitar, man.
This guitar is
Oh my god.
incredibly special.
Jesus.
There is actually only one of these in existence.
Which one is it?
This one. From Gibson Custom Shop. How can I start describing this? Fucking hell. It's actually quite emotional for me. But this guitar is the result of myself and my departed mum actually having a conversation whilst I was actually doing her will, and being the executor, we're just going through all the stuff, what she wants to go where, etc., which we all eventually have to do. And she knew she was, soon to be gone, but it was quite difficult sitting having a conversation. And at one point she turned around and said to me, right, look, enough of the chat, because she wouldn't swear at all. And she said to me, look, what are you going to buy, or guitar wise, what are you going to buy with the money that I'll leave you? And I kind of laughed and she kind of laughed. It was quite a nervous situation, and turned around and said, no, but I really want to know, and I says, well, look, I said, I haven't spent any time thinking about that, because obviously I don't want you to pass, but we know what's happening. But there is a guitar that I've had my own for a long time, and there's not a lot of them about, so it's highly unlikely that I'll ever actually get one. There was only 25 of them made by Gibson Custom Shop in this original format, and I says, so that's probably what I would actually aim to get. And she said, well, let me see it. So I was like, fucking hell, right? So I'm right on the spot, so I'm like, there's a photo, and she had this huge grin, and she was like, that's beautiful. If you get that, that's going to make me so happy. So I was like, okay, that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's decision made, and we moved on, and then obviously did the rest of our will and stuff, and went through stuff. And I never really thought too much about it, but obviously she then passed, sadly, a bit further down the line, and it took maybe about a year or so to actually get the sort of, our estate actually wrapped up, and everything to go forward, and then everybody's money to go into their accounts and whatnot. And probably about a week before I knew the money was actually going to hit my account, one of the guitars actually come up on reverb, and I was like, oh fuck, what, I was like, shit, please don't do not sell, What happened was it was actually the one that I actually showed my mum that had actually come up for sale. So then what happened was that the very night before the money landed in my account, the guitar sold. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was actually in tears. I was pretty much broken, that just bust me, and I thought, right, okay, just get your shit together. Woke up the next day, money's in the account, had another wee kind of, couple of tears and whatnot, because it was a kind of finality of it, you know what I mean? It was like, that's the end of that, do you know what I mean? And I thought, right, okay, get your shit together, man, just, have a look and see what's going on. messaged a few people and whatnot, blah blah blah, and looked at reverb, and this guitar just was the very first thing that actually appeared. And the thing that's unusual with this guitar is that it's got all the Les Paul appointments. So normal flying V's from the era would normally only have, 3 knobs on there, and they normally have a actual scratch plate. They also don't normally have flame maple tops, and they also don't have this what's also known as a widow burst.
You say middle burst?
Widow.
Riddle burst?
Widow, as in...
Oh, widow burst.
Widow.
Yeah.
It's
I think everybody else heard that but me. My hearing's going in.
And you're sitting there next to me.
So,
Probably nobody else got that, but it's widow, a W-I-D-O-W.
Right.
Widow. So it's incredibly rare. As I say, it's obviously one of one. They only made one.
right.
So it is, and I used to have a silver burst flying V, but I'm not going to go into why I don't have that anymore at the moment. But and there was only 1 of 50 of them back in, I think it must have been 79 or something like that. I bought it, maybe 79, 80, 81, something like that. I'm not sure. And that was the first guitar I bought myself. Do you know what I mean? And I'd lost that obviously, but so this, it just felt right. It was just like right away, bang, So I messaged the guy and said, look, this is the situation. Would you sell it to me for X, Y, Z? Like, I mean, it's by far and away the most expensive guitar I've ever owned in my life. And I still got a discount, which was good.
Yeah, I remember you talking about the, because it came from, what state was it from? Well, it's from America, obviously. But
I can't remember which state the guy sent it, and it's the stuff's paperwork's on the case. But
the import tax on it was about a quarter of the price of the guitar, and it was still
no, it wasn't quite as much as that. The actual import tax cost me something about $1,400 or something.
Yeah,
I think.
Was that a surprise when it came?
It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting quite that much, but at the end of the day, that is what it is.
Which, if the import tax is $1,400, you can kind of guess how much this guitar was worth.
It's no cheap, right? But anyway, it's not about money.
Yeah, it's not about the money. It's about the
not.
sentimental attachment you have to it.
Totally.
And the reason it's called the Siren is because,
well, when my mammy was born, my gran, Emily, God bless her, had actually been telling my granddad, Hector, that this is the name she wanted my mum to be known by. And I think they were actually in the middle of a discussion. I'm not quite sure if this is actually 100% correct, but it sounds right. But my gran had been actually talking about the sirens going off during the war. And so my granddad went away and named her Irene. Instead of, thinking that's what my gran had said. So this guitar is affectionately called the Siren. And it kind of fits. I mean, fuck's sake, look at the thing, it's just like, you can't really see it, it's a bit dark. But it is like flame red. It got into a sort of black fade out the back. So that's why it's called the Siren. But the thing that actually totally floored me was when I got the case, got the thing through, and I opened up the UPS shipping case and stuff like that, unpacked it, and just opened the case, and I just burst into tears just looking at it. I'm like, fucking hell, man, what a guitar. Then I opened it up and actually got the certificate of authenticity, which obviously comes with, most Gibson custom shop guitars. And it was actually manufactured on my birthday. which just totally floored me. It was a, you know,
Pure coincidence.
Obviously I wasn't to know that until I actually opened it up. I was like, what the fuck, you
That's
know?
amazing.
So it's pretty special, and it will never be leaving my possession until I pass away, and then I'll get passed down to, you know, my kids. So, aye, beautiful guitar, and it's fucking amazing to play.
Yeah. I think I may have played it for about 4 seconds because he forced me to, and I was like, I'm not touching this again. It's too valuable to you. And I don't think anybody else should.
Well, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, this guitar is meant to be played. So, you know, I kind of, when I first got it, I was like, this isn't coming out the case. And I actually took it to the Baby Wants Candy final show of the run. And I was totally blown away with, you know, the guys that had actually been working with us for the whole run, because one of the guys had actually done a drawing of the guitar. She'd actually what do you call it? She'd actually asked me for some photos of it because we were talking about it, and asked me for some photos, and I put it up. I sent her some photos, and this, you know, they'd actually done a drawing of this thing, which I've still got in the house. It's all framed. And on the back of it, they'd all signed it. Excuse me. And I just totally took me by surprise and blew me away. So it was pretty awesome.
Beautiful.
Lovely people.
Beautiful, man. Am I right in thinking there's something on the back of the headstock that the people should probably see?
Is there?
No?
Like,
Oh, I thought there was some kind of siren picture somewhere.
no.
Right,
No,
okay.
No, there isn't.
May have dreamed it.
No, but it doesn't need that. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's...
No, of course not, man. Yeah,
It really is what it is.
I mean, it really is the most beautiful guitar I've ever seen, and this is only the second time I've seen it, because you don't let out the case much, do you?
Not a lot, no.
No. Did it make an appearance at Baby Wants Candy?
The last show, aye.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that out of you, would you?
This is on the neck pickup as well.
Yeah.
Note clarity. It's incredible.
Such a clean. That's not what I wanted. So let's put it back here. Sorry, I shouldn't be fiddling about with the Helix.
Yeah, by the way, just to let you know, guys, we're going to do a totally separate podcast about Eddie's Helix pedal and all the different sounds he's got programmed into that.
Kind of edge of breakup sound. Sounds a bit heavier because it's obviously, you know. But if I just pull that volume back a wee bit, it just. Cleans up really nice.
Oh, yeah, I like that. So we should have talked about this before. We probably should have talked about this before, but all the guitars that you've been demonstrating tonight, what amp settings do you have? I know we're going to do a separate video on the Helix, but what amp settings are you using tonight?
Well, just for the purpose of actually, showing the versatility of all the different guitars.
In fact, sorry man, I tell you what we'll do. This is going to be weird for the people who are watching live, but I'll ask you this now, and I'll chop it before we start demonstrating the guitars for the YouTube bit. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Like, because then
at least everyone know where they are before they start.
Yeah. So,
as if by magic.
There we go. So we're using the Helix tonight to demonstrate all your guitars that we're going to showcase this evening.
Yes.
What are your basic amp settings? What amp are you using? What amp?
On this situation, I am actually using the Cali 1, which is a Mesa Boogie amp.
Mesa Boogie.
Yeah, I'm just going to double check what I've got.
Cali amp, that makes sense.
It's a Cali, Texas.
Right.
And I'm using it on channel 1.
Which is basically a classic rock amp anyway. It's basically the sound that the guys like Motley Crue would have used,
Well, no, not even Marshall. But
no, but the California band, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but this is a Cali, Texas, which is a Mesa Boogie thing, which Crew wouldn't have used.
Oh, I'm wrong then.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there's me throwing plates of roller flares. Oh, there we go.
I just assumed all these California bands used the
No, it's just a model of Mesa Boogie.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm.
I was kind of right.
Well, no, but that's what I'm using for the entirety of all the guitars that you've actually heard tonight. So,
right.
And it's going to be only in channel 1, but I use it with snapshots. So I've got 4 settings. I've got clean, edge of breakup, then I've got a solo sound, and then I've got an insane solo sound at the end of that. Which just basically adds a bit more room reverb and a bit more delay, which kicks it up. But I also have the option to go into stomp mode, which lets you basically pull pedals in and out on each patch as you want it, which is pretty cool. So there you go.
But is that for specific solos, or is that like a standard solo sound?
Well, it's just it's kind of wherever you want it to be, you know. I mean, if you want something that's a bit more, or you want to add something to that, you can basically just press one button, which is there, preset stomp, and then I've got all these pedals that are in here, and I can put them on or off as I wish.
Well, you know me, man. I'm a line of best fit guy.
Yeah.
I never thought you would be. So you've always like said to me, like, I've got this patch for this song, I've got this patch for this song, and then this one, is this your patch for just a coverall?
This actual patch that I'm using, I say patch, but it's actually just it's on one situation, and it has snapshots. Yeah, I know a lot of people won't actually know what I'm talking about, but the snapshots are basically, you can set it up whereby you have half a dozen amps, for instance, or all different pedals, and you just basically press on one button and it will change which amp you're going to. It will also change which pedals you're using, which pedals you're not using, and it will change all the settings within each of them at the same time.
Right.
With the switch of one pedal, one button.
Got you.
Do you know what I mean? So the flexibility is just frightening how good it is, you know what I mean?
Do you ever feel like the ability to do that changes the tone so vastly that it sounds like way too different between like verse and chorus?
No.
If you do it tastefully, I guess you can.
No, I mean the beauty of this setup is that basically you have all the amps in there that you want to use throughout the whole gamut, right? And they're all in that patch, if you like, and all you're doing is switching amps on and off. So you're not going to have radical changes, you know what I mean? It's basically, I mean, for instance, in this patch, which it's not a patch, is I have one amp that I'm using right across the board.
Right.
I know,
Sorry, that's what I meant to ask. Yeah, that's what I meant by, like, what is your standard kind of go-to amp?
for this instance, and for all the stuff I was doing during the Fringe, it's the Cali Texas.
Right.
That's what I've been using.
Cool.
But I mean, any of the amps that are in this rig are just absolutely fantastic.
Right.
But this is just the thing for me that is most flexible.
Yeah.
It's working just now. It's just it's pretty astounding. You know?
Well, and have you used any of the Fender or Vox? Or
Yeah, I mean,
like
the Helix. So far, I mean, the Fenders they have in there they're good.
do you ever feel like the Fenders are the hardest ones to
Yeah,
emulate?
totally. I mean, I
And
also
Vox?
yeah.
I
I mean,
think.
well, I also have a oh Christ, I forgot what the name is. It's a Fender modelling amp I have. It's a 1x12 thing, and it's got a Jensen.
That's the
in it.
Mustang, is it?
The Mustang,
Yeah.
yeah. And the Fender sounds right are just like fucking hell, man. Dynamite, absolute dynamite. Especially because I've upgraded the speaker and put the Jensen in it. Absolute dynamite. And I was using that Mustang up until this year for the Fringe. That's all I would use. It's got two DIs straight out the back, which would go straight to front of house.
Is that actually stereo
Yeah.
XLRs?
Aye.
With the back of a Mustang?
Aye. Yeah.
Combo?
Aye.
Holy shit.
Aye. It's fucking
Cool.
amazing. It's amazing. And obviously it's got shitloads of effects on it as well. It's got loads of different amp models other than just the Fenders.
Right.
But obviously being a Fender amp, it excels at doing Fender.
Yeah.
So, but I mean it's stunning, a lovely bit of kit. But I'm going to sell that. So I'm not using it anywhere. So because I've got this far and away surpasses what that can do.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no point in me hanging on to it. You know, it's just sitting there doing nothing. So I may as well just, you know, let somebody else enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, so, but no, I mean, the modelling side of stuff, depending on how much time and money you want to put into it.
It's all about time. It's mostly about time, I think, you know,
Yeah.
rather than money, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all know that the Helix, what is the name of this model again? The Helix?
It's just a floor model.
Helix floor,
Yeah.
right? So, when I actually went into the digital side of things, I went into guitar, and I was like, right, I need a Helix floor because
Yeah, because everybody thinks
everybody
that,
was using them.
but they don't.
You know,
They don't.
but I'm such a basic, you know, brain and guitar player.
Yeah.
I don't use many effects, or if I do, it's like wah or a different kind of boost. And Robert was the guy who came up to me and was like, and I probably shouldn't say this on the stream, but he came up and was like, I know you're looking at this £1,000 pedal or 1,100 quid, whatever that was at the time. He goes, but I've seen you play. You only need this.
Yeah, but I mean that's
At the time, I was like,
but that's the job of a guy who really knows what he's talking about.
No, exactly,
And actually
man,
does
yeah.
his job really well. He guides you towards what is actually best fit for you.
Yeah.
And Robert does that
Yeah.
every day in spades.
he was,
You know what I mean,
he was great
that's what he
at
does.
it.
I mean, the guy's a legend. You know what
I mean, to be honest with you, man, if it wasn't for him coming in and giving me that and showing me that there was a smaller, more compact,
Yeah.
all I wanted was a compact version. You seen that pedal board outside
Yeah.
in the hall?
Yeah.
It's like that is everything that can do,
Yeah.
plus most of what this can do,
Yeah.
but in a smaller.
Totally.
And I was just like, you know what, man, I wouldn't have bought the Helix because it's
It's too much.
too
you.
much for me.
It's too much for you.
You know what I mean? I just can't.
And
be
that's
arsed with
not a criticism. It's not. It just is what it is.
No.
You know?
I have a small brain
Well.
as well as other
No,
things.
I'm not going to go down that road because that
You know.
just ends in tears for you.
I have a lot of small things, but you know, never any complaints. You know,
Well, I know you wouldn't because your
small carbon
your hand
footprint.
doesn't talk back.
My van has a small carbon footprint, but my car
Hmm.
does not. So it evens out in some way. But yeah, so I was really happy with the Blues, with the Boss GT1, and I was just like, well, why does anybody ever use anything else? And it took me like 6 months to realise, oh, I could do with an external foot switch. Oh, I could actually do with an external volume pedal or something like that. And it's like, well, the great thing about that pedal is it's extendable. Like you can add extra stuff onto it.
But you can do that with any.
Well, but doing that with that, you're stuck with that. I mean, that's the size. That's about the size of my own PA desk.
No. There's 2 expression pedal outputs on this. I can put another 2 expression pedals on this, and there's also obviously, an actual a section where I can actually put effects in and out in there externally.
Well, I'm sure you can, but I'm just saying, like.
But why would I want to?
Again, I mean, you've got what 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 12 buttons on there.
Yeah.
I would use 2 of them.
That's you. That's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no right or no wrong about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People shouldn't be judging each other for, well, fuck, he's using that, fuck's sake.
You judge me for my gear all the time.
That's because you're a prick.
Finally, you said something that's true. Jesus. Oh, by the way. No, but we always have this conversation. And don't get me wrong, you're the guy who got me in the digital gear in the first place.
I was just trying to.
You're like a sheep herder.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you were constantly going out with all sorts of problems you were having, and I mean, well, just fucking go digital. Do you know what I mean? Make it easy for yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the digital world now it's so close to where, analog stuff is. It's fucking scary.
Well, the weird thing was, man, like when the first stomp box I ever had was a Blues driver, the box one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done with that. And it was only because Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics used it. And then when I got the BD1, the GT1, I was like, okay, I'm going to try the Tube Screamer. And I tried it for about a year. It insists upon itself, as does the original.
I know what you mean.
But but when I switched about 5 months ago to the Blues Junior, the Blues Driver version of the distortion pedal, I was like, cool. It doesn't really do that. It's like if you turn the volume up full, all it does is give you a gain boost. If you turn the gain up full, it gives you a bit of fizz. The touchy thing about the Blues Driver is the tone. That you've got to be really careful with that.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about the stomp box modelers on the. I would imagine this as well as what I've got, is that they give you too many options. You've got input volume, output volume. You've also got bottom, top, all this kind of stuff that goes on.
At the end of the day, for me, having those options is actually a good thing, because you can set up almost like if you're doing a digital desk, you can set up a scene and say, this is what I want applied across the board for, I want a high pass filter, I want this, I want that, and that's your go-to starting point.
Oh no, you definitely want that, but I'm talking about the individual pedal simulators. I would prefer if the simulators had the same knobs as the actual pedals. When you get the box pedals or Ibanez pedals, it's volume, gain and tone. Whereas with these, it gives you like an extra screen of
I know what you mean. But,
options where it's like bottom, you got bottom, top, and
but a lot of them
direct input and all this shit.
A lot of them do have, the same controls, options that you have on the original pedals.
Yeah.
And some of them don't, because you have extra stuff. Which I think is probably driven by, the guys that are actually went, well, what else would actually be more beneficial on this? And they're there for a reason. They're not just, there you go, there's another half a dozen controls on that. See what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
It's really a case of, they've listened to what people have said and actually adjusted it accordingly.
Yeah, but I do think, like, if you want the authentic, like stomp box experience, you shouldn't add the extra stuff. Although you could just leave them. Yeah, but they say you could leave them at like midnight and just.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't want to cock up your arse, you don't take it. Yeah.
If you don't want the dick up your arse, don't bend over in the shower.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But
no, you won't.
No, right, fair enough.
No, you won't.
But I would have to say that the fact that they add these, the only reason I bring this up is because when they add these extra things, you have to amend them more to get the sound to what the original pedal was. I don't think they're actually, like when you got top, bottom and direct input and all this shit. A minute, what am I looking at here?
I'm trying to look at see what's going on here.
Oh, it's something else. Aye, I just think I think if I could be bothered, I would do the stomp box thing still, and I think you would as well. I think every guitar player would. You don't think so?
Never. I'll never go back. No, because every for me, and this is just a personal thing. For me, every extra set of leads you put in there is signal degradation. Mm-hmm. That's a lot truer a signal path than anything you'll ever going to find. It really is. And subsequently, if the actual modelling is actually really good and it's actually where it should be, you're not going to get any better than that. I mean, how many times you've been at a gig and you're like, fuck that fucking...
Well, this is why shit. I went back to... this is why you turned me on to digital in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like, you give me this whole... Like, why would you bother with a pedal board where you just... Something's crackling and there's like 18 points of contact, but you don't know where...
Do you know what I mean? It's true.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if I had a guitar, if I was John Mayer, you know...
Yeah, but John Mayer's a dick.
I don't think that's a valid point in this argument.
See, if you're watching, John, you're still a dick.
Yeah, but he writes some nice songs though.
Yeah, he's a dick who writes nice songs. Big deal.
I'm the boy in your other phone.
I don't think anybody needs to hear that.
Okay. If you don't like that song, you don't know John Mayer.
Nobody needs to know John Mayer, honestly.
Maybe you need to have your heart broken a couple more times. John Mayer is he's not just a guitar player, man. You know what I mean?
I know, he's desperately seeking Susan.
Was that a sitcom in the 90s?
Yeah, probably.
What time are we on, by the way?
I don't know. It's past the clock.
Did you want to talk any more about the siren?
I think I've pretty much said as much as I need to say about this.
I don't think we've heard enough about it.
I
think we should hear a bit more about it.
Is somebody saying something? No. I heard some noise there. What was that about?
I was worried there because I thought I heard somebody say something.
Right, so that's a bit hot.
Did you change a patch?
No, not at all. Yes, I did, actually. It's that one. Clean.
Cliffy says the neighbour's shouting. It's like, luckily Eddie was going to bring his cabin, but we decided. Can you give me a fucking second, mate? Eddie was going to bring his cabin, but we decided to do it all through the headphones. So everything you're hearing is not happening in the room apart from our voices. So yeah, it sounds fucking huge to you guys, but you know, he saves this for the SECC.
Aye, right.
Amazing. What did you actually push against there? There's nothing there. That is risky business right there, man. Oh my god. Get some good comments here. Marzipan says, used to are blittered. That is magnificent. I don't think we're that pissed. We've been more pissed, to be honest. Drop D.
Anyway, that's that.
That's how the siren sounds. Holy shit.
She sings.
Give it up for Mr. Eddie Trainer, ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers, buddy.
As I said earlier, I used to have a button I could press here that would do a fake applause, but
I heard me clap at a doctor's surgery on a Monday morning.
it's not working anymore. Sandyford. I used to just call that button Sandyford.
Indeed.
The clap.
The clap.
Sometimes I didn't even have to press the button.
No, just a wee bit of cream, you'll be fine. Ah dear.
So what do you guys think of Eddie's fucking siren Flying V? It's absolutely beautiful, man. Flying V's, I've found they're always bigger than you think they are. If you're on a small stage with a Flying V, would you mind if I just tried that on just now, man?
Batter in, mate.
I feel like I would be very uncomfortable with this.
It's actually very comfortable.
It doesn't have the comfort kind of.
No.
You're just throwing it at me.
No, it needs to be in there.
Alright, okay.
That's what it needs to be. And then
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, it's like way bigger than you think it is.
yeah, that's what she said.
I'm not gonna play it on the stream. I just want to.
Yes,
feel
you
it.
are. Yes, you are.
That's plenty. I just wanted to feel it. This is the weirdest.
People want to hear you playing. Fuck's sake. Do you want it clean?
No, I just wanted to hold it.
Yeah. That's what she said as well.
Sometimes I just want to hold something and not do anything with it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's nice.
Okay.
Just want to touch it and just enjoy it for what it is.
This is the perviest moment I've ever seen in my life.
I don't need
But there we
to.
go.
I don't need to have any physical enjoyment. I just need to. No, that doesn't work. That's not in a flying V, man. I need to go. That's if I was gonna have a flying V, I would use it like Albert King.
Yeah, this is what you want to do.
Do you know Albert King had a Blues Junior?
Yes, I do.
But he ripped the speaker, so it sounded like a piece of shit. There you go. All hail the siren, Cliffy says. All hail the siren, magnificent. Red is a legend, says Marzipan 73. Guys, by the way, this has been a long fucking stream, and we need to be at Hurley Wolf like now. 4 minutes.
4 minutes? I guess I better put this away.
Guys, I hope you've had a great time listening to me and Eddie talking absolute shite about, well, nothing today. But Eddie's one of my favourite guitar players. He's one of my favourite friends. Well, people.
I hope I'm not bored you too much.
And it's been a pleasure to have him on my wee podcast today. Even though none of my fucking pals showed up, I hope I'm gonna definitely rib them for that next time I'm online.
And you should.
You guys been too busy at church on a Sunday?
I'm too busy fingering their own bum holes. That's what they've been doing.
Right, guys, we've got no mods on the stream tonight, so let's see.
Just as well.
I need to find out. I need to find out who we can raid. In fact, there's probably no point in that.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because all the raiders fucked off.
Nah, I think we'll just bin it. Marzipan says, good night, guys. Ed, he's my favourite person. Enjoy the rest of your night. Lol. Yeah. The lol is probably for... Could be for any point of that.
No, she knows we're going to end up getting fuck old.
Alright, okay. So she knows the script.
Yeah, she knows the story.
Okay. Even more. Say la la. Bye, Dad.
What? Who's that?
Shreya La 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 said, it's beautiful, but it's terrifying to play.
What?
Is that one of your daughters?
Who said that?
She said, bye, Dad. Who do you think?
That's got to be Holly, isn't it?
Holly?
Oh, it's Elliot. It's my son. Awesome.
Elliot for the win. You've bamboozled both
I'll
of us.
see you on
there, man.
Tuesday, son. Can't wait.
Marzipan knows the script.
She does. It's terrifying to play. Why do you think it's terrifying to play? That's...
I know what you mean, Elliot, because it's terrifying to play because if you scratch it, even if a molecule of your beard falls on it, and
yeah, you're going to end up in
any
a
part of
fucking
it.
world of hurt.
yeah.
It's not going to be good.
So yeah, you're right, man. Elliot, I feel you on that, and that's why I'm so glad I got a couple of seconds with it tonight. But that's because my chair that I'm sitting in is padded corners and padded arms.
Yeah, and he's also got a padded face, which means his beard lands softly in my guitar.
Right, we'll catch you later, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out.